Welcome, welcome everyone to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keene. As always, I'd like to thank you guys for joining me. I ask that you please add, follow, and check us out www.spreaker.com/user// Best Damn Podcast. Also, check out the Best Damn Podcast.tv. Follow me, Instagram at Best Damn Podcast, Twitter at The Real Best Damn, and wherever you're watching from, please make sure to hit the like, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and share this. Help me to get it out there. Share it so new people can find us, and consider donating today. We're viewer powered. You can go in the links in the description: PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, Cash App, or Facebook Messenger Pay. And in case you can't tell, I'm actually doing this via mobile. I wanted to come on tonight. Sorry that I'm late. I was with my brother actually doing some stuff, so um, I thought I had it actually scheduled an hour later than I did. But if you go check in the description, I have a couple of fundraisers set. Those of you who aren't aware, um, my main computer that I use for the show is shot. I thought it was hacked, is what I thought had happened, but it's just it's the hardware. So there's that's the problem, and that's why I wasn't able to get it fixed. So I did put a link down in the description. You can do it either through there's a pool on PayPal and there's a fundraiser on Facebook, or you can do it the good old fashioned way, and you can just use Cash App, Venmo, one of the regular donation links if you would like. But we're just trying to raise some money that way we can buy a new computer. That way I don't have to do videos and shit off of here. But nonetheless, let's see who we have. No, I didn't get me a laptop. No, this is my mobile phone. I borrowed a laptop from somebody actually, and it was such a piece of dog shit that it doesn't have the strength. It took me back to like I felt like I was back in 2016 again, trying to do it off of a shitty laptop. Like I don't know if some of you guys might remember way back then when I was literally like, I was using like my kid's laptop way back in the day. So yeah, I borrowed a little shitty laptop, and when I was doing the tests and stuff before I could even go live, it just could not hang. It was like not responding and shit. I'm like, wow, this sucks. So I thought that the best option would be just to use my mobile phone. Then I can at least come to you and talk to you. There's a few things I actually want to share with you too that are pretty newsworthy, some cool topics. But at least this way, I'll be able to, chat with you guys. I thought tonight that just to kind of mix it up because it is the weekend, and by the way, let me apologize one more time for being late. I thought I scheduled it an hour later. I was actually out with my brother doing some stuff, so that's why I'm late. So I apologize. And for those of you guys, you sent me a text. Did you send about the computer thing? I seen that where you were saying that you think you might know somebody with one. That would be cool. That would be great. And to those of you that have donated so far to try to help me get a new computer, thank you so much, man. You guys are major. I can't tell you how fucking awesome you guys are. Seriously, like I got the best community ever. And anytime there's like a problem, anytime shit's going down, you guys always rise to the occasion. So that's so cool. And if you would like to help me out and you would like to donate your support, that way we can get our shit back on track, you can do that. Links in the description for those of you just now coming in. Like I said, you can do it the good old fashioned way, or there's a fundraiser through PayPal and Facebook. You take your pick. All the links are in the description below. Let me say what's up to some of you guys in the chat. And I put a higher amount. I put than I probably will actually get. Um, my original computer cost me, 5K, but I can get a computer for, if I got less than half of my goal, I would go out and buy one right away just so I could get back to work and shit. Um, so yeah, there's that. So don't really pay attention to the goal. I just always set it higher. Then it's better to, to go over than under. Let's see what we have in the chat. Yeah. Let's see what's in the chat. And I'm on my phone. I'm not really good at the mobile thing, but I will try. Looks like we have Diane Livermore. Know thyself. Susan Lapachet? Lap, Lapin? Lapachet? Am I ruining your name? Am I ruining your name? John, I wish you could. Oh man, that fucking sucks, Volker. That sucks. You wish you could help, but you lost your job. That's terrible. That's terrible, man. And uh, I was actually talking to a travel nurse tonight when I was really weird. Um, but I was asking her. She was sitting next to me at the place that my brother and I went to. And, of course, I told her, that I do YouTube and all of that. And she was saying that she was a travel nurse. And we got to talking. I was telling her about Hope E&G and how he went from Oklahoma to New York because of all the big money. And I asked her, and I think she was actually like the head of a bunch of nurses or whatever. But she was saying that she wasn't going to go through with this agenda and get poked either, and this is like coming from a fucking nurse, y'all. You know what I mean? So this tells you right there, like, even the people in the medical field are like, don't come near me with that fucking thing. I'm good. I'm good. So yeah, let me finish saying what's up to you guys. Volker, Know Thyself, Claudette Malespina, uh, Stool Purger, your laptop's 10 years old. Well, I act like I'm 10 years old. Does that count? Um, Brian Harris, what's up, brother? Nice to see you. Natalie Garbert. Hi, Natalie. Nice to see you. If you're new to the channel, I'm usually way more fucking awesome than this. Just saying. Not that I'm like egotistical or anything, but I am a little bit about my content. I'm that fire, bruh. But I'm just saying, like, usually we got really cool graphics sliding across the screen, great music, and just all types of fucking mind blowing information. Um, but because, the computer I use, it got fried and it wasn't. And whoever was in the chat texting the other day with a million fucking things acting like they seen the computer themselves, like, you can fix it, you can fix it. No, it's hardware. It wasn't hacked, it was hardware. So yeah, it's fucked, homeboy. Um, yeah. So let me pull this out a little bit so I can see better. Guys, let me know if you can hear me and see me okay too. Just let me know if you guys can hear me and see me okay. Christopher Wright, um, your daughter-in-law, father got the jab and his arm has been shaking and his what the fuck? Yeah, man. I don't want to say her name because we're not cool anymore really, but there was a girl that I used to hang out with, we'll say, and her father had heart issues beforehand, and he ended up getting it, right? And last time I spoke to her, she said that her dad passed away. So I mean, like, and you guys know if you've watched the show at any time, like, my dad went down too, but they gave him that nose thing 3 times in 1 week, and that's kind of what put him the fuck away, man. So yeah, and I didn't promote this video either, so I apologize for that. But and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, and see, and this is why I need the computer ASAP, guys. There's crazy shit that's happening right now. Look, Russia is planning a massive military offensive against Ukraine involving 175,000 troops. 175,000 troops. And this comes from U.S. intelligence right here. It says that they're reported at the Ukraine border, and this is heightened tensions between the two nations. So, I mean, right now, you guys remember a couple of months ago, everything about what's been taking place right now. Yeah, oh my God, right. Yeah. Everything that was about what was taking place the last couple of months or so, I told you guys was live exercise. So now that we have Omicron, which is actually Omega. And there's this great channel on YouTube that was telling you months before it was released that the next one would be called Omega and that it would be the final wave. Do you guys know what channel that was, by the way? Does anybody know what channel was telling everybody that it was going to be Omega? Anybody? Anybody? No? You don't know which channel said it was going to be Omega? Um, it almost sounds like, yeah. What did you say? Real name is what? I don't know what you're saying, homie. Real name is something. Nah, BDP. That's fucking right, baby. It's BDP. Yeah, you think it was BDP? I do too. Yeah, I think it was the Best Damn Podcast. They told everybody that it was going to be Omega, and they were also the only channel that caught the 1,260 days asteroid Apophis 99942. So look, if I fucking disappear, you guys know why, right? You guys know why. If they black bag my fucking ass and I'm gone, you know why. For real, for real. What's up, Way Easy? Nice to see you. I follow water. That's a cool name. Yeah, what's up, man? Um, I don't know. Like, I know that right now, guys. Okay, not really sure what that means. I'm not going to disappear. You don't know that. Hopefully not, but you don't know. Um, I have a feeling like, look, I'm just keeping it real with you guys. I told you, anytime something bad's about to happen, I feel like something happens to like take me off of the air ahead of time. And sure as shit, right? Computers fucked, and then what? 175,000 motherfucking troops on the border of Ukraine in Russia. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it a coinky I don't think so, man. Um, don't even. I don't even care, man. I don't even care. If they came and smoked me today, I wouldn't be sad about it. Just to be honest, guys. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I would rather die for standing up for myself and die for speaking the truth than just die for nothing. Anyways, when I'm old, die an old coward. You know what I mean? Just my opinion on that one. I'd rather die for something today, standing up for myself and other people, and standing up for what I believe in, than die an old fucking coward. You know, they're gonna, and that's the thing about all of this shit. Like, people are like, they think they're keeping their life and stuff by putting their head down and acting really weak about all of this, but it's not, man. They're coming for everybody, dude. They're coming for everybody on your knees and shit. Yeah, man. Yeah. Everybody says what? I got this fucking logo that's in the top corner, so I can't see the thing, so it pops down a little bit. So sorry, chat. I'm a little behind. Aren't you already? Everybody says yes till they say, fuck, dude. Sorry about that. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying, but um, you know what? Everybody does say that they'll do it. That they're not afraid. That they won't go along with shit until it's time for action. That's true, but I hate to tell you though, I've already been tried and tested. So I know I'm not gonna buckle, and I know that that's why I was put through the shit I was put through. That way I wouldn't buckle when it was crunch time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I feel about that. If I wasn't buckling when they were zapping me in the head with directed energy weapons, um, isolating me, ruining my fucking life, and poisoning me and all of this, I'm not gonna buckle if they got a gun to my head either, dude. You know, especially when I actually had shit to lose back then. I have nothing to lose now. They created a monster is all they did, you know. And that's what I think they do with a lot of us, right? They create monsters out of us because the system breaks us to a fucking point to where it's like, all right, man, you know, like I wasn't gonna fight. I was gonna go along with it, but now I have no reason to not fight, and that's where they put us at. They take your jobs, motherfuckers losing their house, their spouse, right? Maybe their children, over a lot of this shit, right? Um, and then you think about just the overall like security issues of you not being able to like go out of your fucking home, go to a grocery store. Man, dude, you're giving you're putting someone's back against the wall, right? And you're daring them. You're daring them. And you've got the population, the masses right now are like, we're not cool with this. They're fucking protesting, they're rioting, and they don't care. They continue to push this forward. They continue to do this. You know why? Because they never gave a fuck, and they hope you get rowdy so they can single you out for being rowdy. We all know where the next step of all of this goes. They don't build camps for nothing, man. They don't build camps for nothing. John, what? Every time I read John, they try to destroy your gift because they're afraid of us. I agree with that. Yeah, they do try to destroy um, our gifts because they're afraid of us. But you know what? Here's one of the things that I've kind of learned along the way. Just me personally, is I get obstacles put in my life all the time, all the time. Like when the more you tear yourself away from the world, the easier it is to not let them take your peace. You know what I mean? Like the stronger we become, the more we hold on to our peace, the more complicated it becomes to take it from us. Right? Like, and you see too, like there's verses in the Bible that's basically talking about when you're delivered up to the judges and you're facing death, like don't try to make up something to say, right? Don't get up here and start trying to think of some shit to say, right? God's going to give you the words, and then if they kill you, He's going to give you the peace, right? At that time, it's and depending on what your belief system is, some people believe Jesus will be hanging out right next to you. That's up to you on what you believe. I'm not here to tell you He's not. Yeah. Um, That's English, by the way. I'm not really even sure what you're fucking saying. I catch only little bits and pieces of some of your guys' things sometimes. Um, Sounds like an awesome book. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. If we start trying to uh kind of make excuses or talk our way out of dying, I think we'll back ourselves right into a corner doing that kind of shit. I think that's why it's giving you that advice. It's saying like, don't try to scheme on this shit and try to get out of it. Because once you start trying to hang on to your life, right? Once you start trying to, that becomes the mission now. So you're going to start giving more and more to try to keep it because that become your goal. It's not the goal isn't to cling to the world. So that's why I think it's saying don't try to come up with the words to say when you're handed over, right? I'll give you the right words, right? Because if you do, then that means mentally you're not ready to let go. Mentally, your mission is no longer, hey, I'm not gonna break, I'm not gonna buckle. It's I gotta stay alive, right? And I know a lot of people like that. I get the luxury of meeting and talking to all kinds of people, and I can almost fucking tell it. You know what I mean? You get to a point. I don't know if you guys do, but you get to a point to where you like become super in tune with just people in general, right? Like the deeper you know yourself, you can become in tune with other people, and you pick up on things. Like I can have a conversation with a person, and I can almost, and I would say with about an 80% accuracy. I wouldn't go all the way to 100, but about an 80% accuracy, I can tell you of whether or not like you're worldly as fuck or not. There's been occasions where I'm wrong. When somebody's deeper than what I thought, or somebody's really hooked and they just pretend really well. But you have a conversation, people's always going to tell you, they speak about what's important to them. And you'll hear a lot of times, like, if you if God is important, if the spirit is important, if love is important, that's what they talk about. That's who they are, right? Like, so that's going to be in their vocabulary. That's going to be the things that interest them. That's going to be what they're seeking. But most people, they can't get past the 9 to 5 mentality, the day-to-day mentality. Like, it's fucking a trip. You know what I mean? They have zero faith in themselves. They have zero faith in who they call God. Everything's got to be like laid out, routine, um, 9 to 5 fucking reality. It's really crazy to watch. And, like, I think at this point in the game, we should all be kind of past that shit. It doesn't mean don't have a job or something, but it means we should be able to tune into here at this point and just know shit, right? We should be able to just know shit. Um, the truth is written on your heart, right? And I got this radar inside. I can't speak for you, but I have this crazy radar to where, like, whether it's reading a news article or being around a person, or whatever, but I have this inner knowing now. And back in the day, I needed the outside confirmation from other people, right? I needed it. I'd watch a million YouTube videos because I was just trying to find something to tell me that I was either right or I was wrong. And all I ended up doing was spinning my wheels, right? Because everybody's shit was contradicting each other. But when you really begin to, grow and ascend, you start to tune into here. And it doesn't matter what's in front of your face. It doesn't matter what everyone else says. When you know yourself and you know the truth in here, there is nothing anyone can say to convince you otherwise, right? And that, to me, that's the real faith, right? When they're talking about by your faith you were healed, this, most people are like, but I believe in God and all that. I don't think that's the type of faith it's talking about, just in my opinion. I think that the faith it's speaking about is being tuned in to the point to where, like, I'm saying, being tuned in to the point that when the spirit moves in you, it speaks in you, you don't question it, you act. And when I talk to people, say I'm making plans with a person or something, or just shit in general, they'll be like, well, that's not logical. And it's like, it doesn't have to be for me. Shit doesn't make sense in my world because I'm not of this world. So, like, when I know something, I know something, and when I know something, I go for that shit, or I do it. I don't doubt it. Um, I will. I shape my whole life around feelings, dreams, all of these signs, clues, synchronicities, and our world isn't built like that. We're taught that that's bad, that that's pseudoscience, and that's why people can't get out of here. They're stuck in their fucking head and can't get in their heart, and it's even looked down upon to be in your heart now, right? It's looked at as like a weakness or whatever, right? They're like, oh, you know, you come from here? No, 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 no. You're supposed to come from here. I think you might have been picked up on your vibe. Are you talking to me? I picked up on your vibe. Yeah, I did pick up on your vibe. I did a reading for you. Yes, I did. I did. I pick up on, yeah, especially you get me on the phone with somebody. Yeah. And that's the thing, man. That's not always a good thing. Like, when you're kind of like, I don't want to say psychic or something, but like intuitive or sensitive to energy like that, um, it can bum you the fuck out too. There's half the time I'm fucking depressed because, my mind will have one idea about a person, and then I'll find out for myself that it's not what my brain thought. My heart will tell me the truth. Like, damn, you know, they're not what you thought they were, John. Or, this is a bad person, or, that kind of shit. And that it fucking tears me up every time it happens. It's like I'm almost expecting a different result, and I feel like we have to defend our ideas too. I don't know about you, but I feel like I have to defend what I believe in. If I don't, then I'm selling out, not in the sense of I'm becoming famous sellout, but selling out to myself. Right? I think we can sell out in a multitude of ways. Every one of us can become a sellout by giving up on our morals, our values, or what we just hold to be true inside, right? And I have these ideas in my head of what the world is, of what life is, of who I am, how I'm supposed to treat other people, how I'm supposed to regard other people, my idea of love, all of these, my idea of being a father. Like we all have these ideas of life and what we think, each one of these things are. And the world will try to convince you to go with the status quo on that. They're like, no, 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 that's not how you do it. You're supposed to do it this way because everybody else does, right? And then you kind of get into this right and wrong thing too, where people say, well, that's bad, that's evil, you're not supposed to. And it's like, well, says who? Says who? Right? Where does good end and evil begin? Where does hot end and cold begin? Right? So, and that's why you see people that like know the mysteries and shit. And this is what they say. They say for the greater good, for the greater good. And it's like, who's greater good? Their greater good. Right? So for each person, the greater good is going to be something totally different because each reality is totally different. My reality is different than your reality. Right? So if I allow you to essentially shape my reality, but then I become a slave to yours. I become imprisoned to yours unless I choose to become a part of that reality. And then our reality becomes one together, right? Then we have a shared reality. But still in that shared reality, we're going to have separation between the two, right? I think that's where a lot of people are at right now. They're coming into their own as far as becoming awakened and into truth and all of that. And they're struggling with holding their reality together. They've, and I don't want to say they've gotten lazy, um, but if you're born into a place where the government shapes reality for you, right? The government shapes reality for you. You don't have to do no work consciously. You don't, you know what I mean? Like it makes a lazy brain, a lazy soul, a lazy heart. You know what I mean? And when you become aware, when you awaken to the truth and your real abilities to manifest, to attract, to collectively create, you begin to shape a world around you. You begin to create a world around you. And as time progresses and you're spiritually stronger, you can hold that world together more and more. And this is when I'm talking about cycles and shit and lessons that we learn. To me, those lessons that we learn are those are the practice of holding your world together right there, right? Like just, and this is an example, and I love using this example because everybody has experienced it, but I'll use like dating as the example. People will say, why do I meet this type of person over and over and over, right? It's because you haven't learned the lesson about that person, or why am I stuck in this situation? And you know what I mean? It's like because you haven't learned the lesson to change your situation or to get a better person or to, you know what I mean, whatever the lesson is. And when you finally face said lesson, when you finally face said situation and you overcome it, that's one part of your reality now that you've shaped, right? And it becomes your own. So instead of being at the whim of the world is at the whim of you, right? And this goes in jobs and everything too, right? I told you guys when my channel got hijacked, um, I had like a lightweight identity crisis. When I, and I started another channel, obviously. But there for a couple weeks, I felt so sorry for myself, man. Like I was just depressed. I'm like, what am I gonna do? They took my main channel. What am I gonna do? That's my livelihood. That's my, you know what I mean? And same thing as somebody with a job, right? You get fired or something. You're like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I just lost my job, dude. You know, like, especially if it was your career and you had worked there 10, 20 years, you know, whatever, right? We begin to identify with the work that we do, you know. So instead of the work being a byproduct of you, right, and being a projection of you, a projection of your abilities, a projection of your skills, your talents, right, we become a projection of the work or a byproduct of the job, right? And that's enslavement. That's enslavement. And that's what they do with government. That's what they do with nations. That's what they do with everything. No, thank you. That's what they do with governments and everything, right? So instead of, and think about what's happened in the USA, just for an example. 1776 type shit right here, okay? Where there was once a government, allegedly, that was for the people, by the people, right? And the government was supposed to work for the people. There was a Second Amendment to keep the government in check, to keep the government in line in case they got tyrannical and fucking crazy, which they have, right? Now look at it. And this is a reflection of our consciousness, guys. I'm not shitting you. Now what has happened? The government flipped the tables on us. Okay? So now instead of it being for the people, by the people, it's for the state, by the state. Right? And instead of the government being kept in line by the people, the government keeps the people in line. So instead of the people creating their reality, controlling the world around them, they're now controlled and they live in the reality that's given to them by their masters. And you become accustomed to that. So they create schools and the educational system, and that then conditions you and shapes you for said reality that's created for you as well. Yeah, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. 1776. And look, I'm not all on that America shit, yo. I'm not. I'm not all on that. You know, I feel like if you're truly of the spirit, then you have no nation. You have no nation, right? A nation is a flight of locusts, by the way. And that's Gentiles. I'm not a Gentile, you know, and Gentile is not a color thing either. And remember, a Gentile um, is a beast of the field or a cattle or a goyim, which is a golem, right? Which is a soulless being to be used at the will of somebody with a spirit, right? So that's why they can do all the fucking crazy things they do to everybody because it's, you know, you're a golem to them. There's no sin in what they're doing to you. They believe you're just an NPC, a soulless being, you know, a soulless being. And you learn so much. Oh, that's awesome. And I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. You know, and I know that this is not like my normal, hey, Larry, how's it going, buddy? And you know what? Please do not send me fucking messages and telling me that my computer tore up because of tarot cards. Please don't do that to me. That is so fucking goofy. Seriously. Your computer broke because of tarot cards. Oh my gosh, man. You guys have no idea how many comments and messages people are saying a fucking machine tore up because of tarot because I'm reading tarot cards. You got to be motherfucking kidding me, homie. You know what I'm saying? You got to be kidding me. For real, for real. Yeah, what the fuck is right? Yeah. Alien believers. Alien believers. Where have I heard that before? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, your name. Um, you. Okay, I get you. Uh, yeah, and that's what they do too. Like, and this is the thing. If at this point in the game, You're supposed to be awake. You're supposed to be in tune. You're supposed to be aware. You're supposed to be conscious, and you're still on some dogmatic shit like, yo, tarot cards are evil, and that's why your channel got messed up. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You gotta hop that hurdle, my dude. You gotta hop that hurdle. You know, a lie is a lie is a lie. A lie is a lie is a lie. That's facts right there. Well, what's a lie about a tarot card though? That comes, you know what? I don't even need cards if I'm being honest with you guys. I just have them because it makes the person feel more comfortable that I'm doing the reading with, just to keep it all the way real, right? Like that's why we do it. I do it for your comfort, not mine. I'm actually reading it all up of my intuition anyways. You know, and a tarot reading in itself is only as good as the reader, right? So it doesn't matter, you know, doesn't matter. We all pick up, I pick up on the energy. And to me, whenever me and you do a reading, and this is kind of the exchange of energy in my mind, um, the tarot cards are a medium or a conduit from your for your energy to mine, right? Your energy to mine. So those cards come out, in my opinion, and they're magnetically attracted to the different chakras in your body, to the different states of consciousness that's flowing out of you, right? So they fall into place with the number associated with that. And then, so you're actually what's making the card deal out. And anytime I actually do a reading with somebody, I'll tell them, I'll say, you know, close your eyes and think, you know, what is it you want to know? And don't talk, you know, because I want to tune into them. It's like, we're all just a fucking radio channel at the end of the day, dude. You know, that's what our DNA is. You know, my your DNA is basically like the place on the radio station, you know, or the radio station of your soul in this world. And that's why they want to genetically alter you, right? They're trying to turn that channel. That way your soul can't connect anymore. It cuts it off, right? So each one of us are emitting our own frequency of God down here. And if they can get that channel to turn, well, God can't tune in anymore. And it's just the dark side of you. That's all that's left. And that's a good way to look at it, too. Surrender. Mm, I have no, yeah, I have no idea what you're saying. Hold on, man. Some of you guys are. I don't know if you guys are just talking about some crazy weird shit or if I'm just missing it or something. But you know, uh, yeah. Well, you know, here's the thing too. A reading or a psychic or medium, whatever, right? And I've seen some bullshit on those things, guys. So I'm skeptical about anybody who says they're a psychic, a medium, they're a seer, a prophet, intuitive, any of that shit. I'm skeptical as fuck about it because most people that are in that business are just liars, right? You guys remember the medium we had on the channel, right? You guys remember the medium? John Crawley was his name. I'm not going to sit and make a claim on whether I know or not he's legit or anything because that would just not be my style. Um, but I will tell you this. I felt like the reason I didn't keep doing shows with him every week is because I wasn't convinced enough that there wasn't mentalism being used, right? You guys ever heard of mentalist, right? Like a mentalist, somebody who's able to read your body language, somebody who's able to pick up on the hesitations in your voice, the inflection in your voice. Um, you know, like when you study mind control and shit like that, for sure, uh, those things you can become a mentalist very, very easy. You start to understand that if I wear a certain color, I can invoke a certain emotion out of you more easy. that if I hold my hands a certain way, that there, I can make you defensive or angry, right? Like there's just different things that are psychosomatic, and there's also, biologically we cannot fucking stop doing it. And that's Justin the other night was like, I can't be mind controlled. It's like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You have been, and I can too. We all can. Um, because we're frequency, and because, if we're unknowingly tuning into frequency, it fucks us up, right? It can fuck us up. And that's why there's a constant noise and lowering of frequency all over the world. It's trying to lower us all down as a whole. And it does have an effect on us. You can tell that. And I'm not saying Justin is mind controlled. He's not. And it'd probably be hard to mind control somebody like him that knows what's up. But anybody can with enough effort, or caught on the wrong day, the wrong time, you know what I mean, and their guards down, and somebody's able to speak to that subconscious, especially if we're using words like okay, neuro linguistic programming is one of my favorite, methods of mind control, because it's just words. It's just a conversation. A simple conversation can spin your fucking head around. You have no idea that a person is even doing it to you when they use NLP, right? They're literally, every time that they're shaking you up, they're trying to plug a word into your brain, right? That way, every time you hear that word, it rattles you every single time. And I think it's absolutely insane when you think about it, that people don't study these things more, and that there's not more of an awareness of these type of crafts, right? Or art. We are programmed from day one. Fuck yeah, we are programmed from day one. What? I am a lie? You avoid people that hate? No. Oh, Natalie. Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. People just ain't on it tonight, are they? Well, fuck them. See, this is why I don't like doing shit from my phone. If you don't have the big flashy lights, most of these dumbass motherfuckers they can't sit and have a conversation or watch a video over, 5 minutes, because they got like that whole goldfish brain going on. So if I'm just in a camera talking to you about shit, you know what I mean? Which really, um, you'll probably get way more out of than all the shit scrolling across the screen, and you know what I mean? But people are so zombified now that they can't take in something like this. They can't digest it. They're not tuned in enough. You know what I mean? It's like they're too weak on their focus. Say I got ADD. Yeah, we all do, man. We all do. We've all been fucking buzzed with white noise since the moment we came out the birth canal. Yeah, and see, and I noticed too, the people that do stay in the chat, are, and like I said, I get the benefit of talking to a lot of people. I feel like intelligence gives you a longer attention span. Intelligence gives you a sharper focus, and you don't have to have all of that bullshit. You don't have to have all the window dressing and the graph, and see, and that shows you also what a person is here for too, right? That shows you a person what their true intent is. What are you actually watching for? Oh, you want to be entertained and hypnotized. That's what you were watching for. Because what's the difference between now and a week ago? Oh, yeah, now I'm telling you straightforward information to you. There's no middleman. Look, 5 people dropped off. 5 people dropped off. Now I'm telling you straight information straight to you. And before, you had a bunch of graphics scrolling across the screen, music, moving pictures, and all of that. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm telling you. Half of the people that claim to be into the truth are imposters, dude. There's not really that many of us. Very, very few. Very, very few. And that's the legit ass truth. Five NPCs. Yes, five NPCs. Exactly. They come to blend in, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of people treat it like a fucking sorority or something. It's a popularity contest, and it's tribalism to them. You know what I mean? It's tribalism to them. They're like, oh, I want to belong somewhere, so that's why I hang out. Or, oh, I want to be hypnotized. Please, John, hypnotize me. You know what I mean? Like that's why they hang out. And most people too. And see, I don't like to do this shit. But if I wanted to, I could play on the carnality of people and probably get more people to watch. But if I start doing things like that, um, I feel like I'm doing people a disservice. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing you a disservice if I'm playing off of your carnality, or playing off of the lack of awareness of what moving images and shapes, and flashing lights and shit are actually doing to you. I don't use those things because I want to suck you into some fucking, hypnotic state, you know, but I use them to draw in the people that I know won't watch otherwise, right? I know they need them. It's like a fucking safe. It's like a safety net, or like a baby blanket. You know what I mean? Like when you're like 2 or 3 years old and you got a favorite blankie. That's what the flashing lights are for a lot of these people, right? They're like, oh, I can't watch without the flashing lights. You know what I mean? I need it. I need it. Are you not entertained? You're fucking hilarious, Tim. You're probably one of my favorite people with your skull and bones ass, bro. Hey, but you know what? And that's another thing. That's another dogmatic thing. People see the skull and the bones and all that, like, and they get twacked out. Pacifier, yeah, man, yeah, they need a pacifier. Most people, the children, dude, fucking children. You know, it is chat. What? It is chat. Relax. Say what you want. Judges get nice wages. We don't. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. But then see, that's another thing too. Like you'll notice a lot of times too, and I almost see like why you don't cast your pearls before swine. Like it becomes more and more clear to me, like as things go on. And I'm not calling you a swine if you're watching, by the way. Um, there's a lot of like when you're trying to bring some real high vibe shit or something, there's always people that because they're so worldly and stuck in the bullshit, it's almost like they do anything they can to fight against. You know what I mean? They'll come out. Those are the people that try to distract everyone from the topic. You know what I mean? It's like they can't go there, so they don't want you to go there either. And What is in the Bible when it says they're blocking the entrance, right? They can't get in, but they're going to block the door for you too, right? To the kingdom of heaven. You know what I mean? They don't know where it's at. They can't get in, but they don't want you getting in either, right? And that's the same thing. Like I see it happen in chat all the time. You be talking about some real ass shit, and you got fucking two or three motherfuckers that won't. They're not having it. They're like, don't listen to him. Listen to me. I got to talk about my fucking dog right now. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. And you also notice too that a lot of people that are in their ego real bad, because when you say things like that, they get defensive over it. I'll go watch like the comments, and the comments will act like I talk to that person directly. It's like I'm not talking to you, but to them in their world, everything's about them, right? Everything's about them, so they take everything personally, right? And that's why we have to learn how to have some humility and not take ourselves so seriously. I take myself seriously sometimes when I shouldn't, and I think we all do. We all do. I do it more so when I get my feelings hurt. There's something about whenever you get your fucking feelings hurt that makes you kind of take it, take yourself more seriously. It's like, God damn, I mean, you want to hurt me? That kind of shit. And And maybe that's programming or maybe that's habit, I don't know. You just think that you're putting out good stuff and maybe you got uh, trippy for a minute because you're reading. You got trippy because of the reading. Um, but here's the thing: if you get a reading, are you going to accept the advice? Are you going to accept the advice, or are you going to fucking blow it off? That's what it boils down to. I can't tell you how many fucking readings I've done, and people will argue with you, and you can see it. Like whatever the card is saying, you can see it's right, and they're like, no, no, I got a better idea. It's like, well, then what you want the fucking reading for, dude? If you know it all, why you talking to me, homie? You know? Or people who want to talk to me and ask for advice and shit, or like they're like, what does the Bible say about this? And I tell them, and they're like, I don't really like that. Like, why call? Why ask, dude? Yeah. You're late. What have you missed? Uh, I just put my clothes back on. So you just missed it. Lucky you. Lucky you. Um, Clash of Clans debates are cool. Labels come in when losing. You're out there, dude. I don't know about the Clash of Clans debates. Sorry. Did you do that? I'm not gonna sit. Damn. Oh, come on. Yeah, you're feeling good about that. Um, they are wanting you to make them feel good, other than the truth. That's correct, Tim. Yeah, and you're a smart cookie, and that's the truth. That's the truth. Most people want me to blow smoke up their ass, blow rainbows up their ass. That's the truth. And when people meet me, they have an idea of me in their head too. And if I don't match up to the idea, they're mad at me a lot of times. You know, that's one of the shit parts about doing this because people watch you on a camera and shit and they see one facet of your life, just one, right? I mean, you guys might see a couple because I'm a pretty emotional person, so I show a lot of emotion. I'll come in on here sad, happy, mad. I don't give a fuck, but they see, a very thin aspect of you, though. This is like not me all the way, right? There's so much more to me than just this. And a person, because they watch this, will expect a certain, way from me. And it's like, I'm not doing a YouTube video with you, dude. Of course I'm going to be different. You know what I mean? And we do this to each other nonstop, anyways. We create ideas in our mind of who we think a person is or who we want them to be, right? And we do this with the world too. This is why it's hard for people to accept the truth because we have ideas in our mind of what the world is, what we want it to be. And when reality doesn't match up with the idea, we get angry, we reject it. That creates a cognitive dissonance in our minds, right? We're like, nah, fuck that. I said the sky's blue, bitch. It's not green. What do you mean? It's green. I refuse to accept that. And you can look up at the sky and the motherfucker be lime green. But the person's not going to take it because it's not what they want. Right? We do this on a daily basis. That's why people want to accept the agenda with the government or any of that, guys. Right? They were told that America is the land of the free. They were told that they are being protected by their government. They were told that the government wouldn't do that stuff. And now, what do you mean you're telling me they're depopulating all of us? What do you mean they took all of our tax money, built deep underground military bases, and now they're slaughtering everybody? That's not true. That's not what I want, right? Fuck what the evidence says, right? Fuck what the insiders say. Fuck what I'm seeing with my own eyes. It's not what I want it to be. right? That's not the idea I cooked up and schemed up in my mind. So I'm not going to accept that shit, you know? John is purging, so why don't you? Yeah, I do. I like doing these. They're really healthy for me, actually. I don't get to do too much of the chats too much. Dude, I get fucking tired of being, I feel like a puppet sometimes. Know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a puppet sometimes, like when I do videos. Because, like, if you come in and you're not happy or you're not, you know what I mean? People expect a certain something from me. And if I don't bring it, then I feel the letdown from people. You know what I mean? It makes you feel kind of like shitty about yourself. You're like, oh, fuck, I didn't blow them away tonight. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's not easy to do that. You're not going to hit a home run every time you go to bat, man. You know? And yeah, you never purge. Oh, yeah, that's fucking funny. Yeah. But, yeah, bro. Fuck them. Yeah, I know, fuck them. But I'm just saying, though, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm sure some of you guys, right? You come watch a video, and if I'm not, on fire, dumping 10 billion fucking bits of information down your neck at 1,000 miles per hour, right? And connecting some fucking far out shit together, you walk away disappointed. You don't come for the truth. I don't think a lot of people, they come for the wow. They come for the graphics. They come for the music. They come for the entertainment. You know, some people come for other reasons, right? Some people come because they think I'm attractive. Some people come because they think I'm funny. Some people come because they think I'm smart. There's a million reasons. But what you should be coming for is the truth. That's what you should be coming for. All that other shit, that's distractions, man. Distractions. You come for the truth. That's what's up. I like people who come for the motherfucking truth. You know, you come for dick rockets. That's okay. Look, if you come to be entertained and watch dick rockets, I'm not mad at you. I enjoy those videos too. When we're clowning and shit, you just can't do it every day though. You know, you can't do it every day. You come cause you're all my soul tribe. I like that, Jody, for sure. I like that. Come because we're all your soul tribe, and we are too. We are. Um, I think it's hard for people like us because nobody relates to us. You know, we're not like everybody else. And I'm not saying this in an egotistical way at all. I don't think I'm better or I'm hot shit at all. Um, Matter of fact, I almost feel less sometimes because of the way I am. It's hard to be on the shorter end of the stick in society, right? Um, and I don't feel like I have less gifts than people or less anything than people. But when you don't feel like you belong or fit in, like you can't help but feel less. That's what social acceptance is all about. That's how they socially engineer your fucking ass. We all want to belong. We all want to be loved, right? We all do. People can lie and say they don't. And let's say you don't. Let's say you're not into love. But I bet you're into a version of love and you just don't know it. Like, let's say you're into attention, right? Some people want the attention because that's a form of love. The accolades, form of love, right? The glory, the honor, forms of love, right? Somebody putting their focused feeling, intent, and thought on you, right? And I think this boils down to the fall. Samael, right? He said, "It is I who am God, and none are apart from me." And he heard himself and was divided. Think about that. That was us too, by the way. We're both. Remember? I think we have this inherent fear of being alone because our soul part of us is in an existence where it is alone. Satan is alone, by the way. Satan is alone. He created the demons and the other angels out of himself. You feel me? So they're not real entities. They're just copies of him. He's alone. And that's why when we're in this physical form, that's why we feel that need to connect to other people because that's the side of us that we're in. We're in the dark side right here. So it's like you go through the darkness all along. Like there's this constant, and that's to me, loneliness to me is really you searching for a connection to God, right? Think about it. At a super, super deep level, you have a light side and a dark side, a greater side, a lesser side, a higher and a lower. Your higher side is a light. It's unity, right? It's never alone. Never ever. Right? Don't know what fucking loneliness is. It's in unity all the fucking time. Right? And then you have the lower side, which that's all it knows is solitude. It creates personas to try to make itself feel like it ain't the only one, but it is. They're just different, they're replicas of itself. They're copies of itself. Other people are ourselves. In essence, yes. At a basic level, yes, they are. But also at the same time, we have that living spark in us, which does make us individual. At the same time, it's it's a paradox. You know what I mean? There's two existences simultaneously that are happening. You know, you're so high all the time, you don't need a higher self. That's fucking hilarious. Me too. Um, but I mean, if you really think about that shit on a base level, like on a deep ass level, like that's why we always need that human connection. That's why people chase clout. That's why people chase fame. That's why people, like see they're promiscuous and they want attention and all of that, man. And I know it sounds fucking lame as fuck, like it does to me anyways, like why are you so lame? You know what I mean? Like you gotta get attention all the time for something. Weren't you hugged enough as a kid? And I don't think it has anything to do, probably not. They probably weren't hugged enough as a kid, but it stems from their soul level. They're ruled by the carnal side, and the carnal side is a solitary being. That's why it's a hive mind. We're just eyeballs on one big giant motherfucking entity. We become that entity. We lose ourselves. And when we stay in the light, we have the individualism, right? We have an individual spark, which gives us a separation of identity, but we're in unity. So on the other side, we have the persona, which gives us the illusion of a mask, but we're all just really Satan, on the dark side. How fucking wild is that? And you see it play out. Narcissists and people that are empathetic, right? Carnal and higher state. It plays out so much, and people don't catch this stuff. And if psychology actually use those things to study, or they call it pseudoscience, if they actually use those things to study a person, they would understand far greater. And tell me you haven't met a person in your life, you know, where you can tell by their behaviors. the things that they're missing, the things that they're lacking, places they're weaker, why they feel like they don't belong, why, you know what I mean? And like, that's because our souls we recognize this shit. We've been in this battle. We've been doing this shit for so long, y'all. There's no telling how many incarnations of you there's been, you know. And to me, this is the grand finale. This is the grand finale. You dated two, I can't see it because of my logo. I have to wait till it drops down a second. Dated something. Two psychologists is what you're saying? And they tried to kill you? Huh? Say what? That's not a very good. The fuck? Where you find these people? Why are they trying to kill you and shit? I don't know about all that. That's crazy. That's weird, man. Yeah. I'm a mind fuck. Does that count for a psychologist? You dated two psychopaths. Both tried to kill me, but you feel blessed. Okay, well, I mean, I'm a psychopath. So I mean, I'm very psycho. I'm insane as fuck, you know? I don't think you have to be mad or insane to be able to actually be sane, if that makes sense. Right? You ever notice too, like they say that genius is madness, right? Like in order, if you've ever met a real deal genius, right? They're weird as a motherfucker. They don't think like other people. They don't walk like other people. They don't talk like other people. They don't relate to other people, right? And they are crazy, because what genius would look like to us would be insanity. We would deem it insanity, right? Because their mind isn't restricted by the bounds of reality. So it looks like insanity to you, but it's really just genius, right? We just don't have that scope. We're looking through rose-colored glasses and we're like, that motherfucker's crazy. No, you're actually crazy. And that person's free. That person's free. You're just a slave, you know? And I see a lot of that, man. It actually breaks my heart when I can't break people out of it, you know? Dream of source. That's funny. No, 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 you're an empath for certain. They were unable to have empathy. No, yeah, okay, I'm empathetic. But I can be narcissistic too, if I choose to be. I think we all could. One of my problems is this, and I don't know if you guys can relate. I'm assuming you probably will be able to, but I give my power away too easy. I had a friend tell me that too. She was like, John, you got to stop giving your power away because people will abuse it, and they do, right? If you try to be a good, loving person to a piece of shit, they're going to take your love, they're going to take your kindness, and they're going to see it as weakness. It's going to inflate their ego, and they're going to take advantage of it and abuse it, you know? Because there's not that many loving beings here anymore. I think at one point in time, we were all selfless. We were all dreamers. We were all just, we were able to express ourselves without any hindrance or anything, man. It wasn't looked down upon. It wasn't thought of as crazy to have intelligent thoughts. We were all psychic and intuitive in multiple ways. But we've been how many eons of bondage, mentally and spiritually? So now something as delicate as love, right? Which love means to be vulnerable to a person, right? To be vulnerable. So when you We get this because our society's so fucked up and broken, basically. If you make yourself vulnerable to a person, a lot of times now, if they're a narcissist, they'll take advantage of your vulnerability and feed some part of their ego, some part of their carnal self. You know, some people like to get attention. Some people get off on hurting other people. Some people get off on telling people no. You know, like there's all kinds of weird quirks that people have, guys. And I know you've all seen them. You've all seen them. You've all experienced a person in life where when you handed your power over to them, they seen it as an opportunity to suck you dry. They seen it as an opportunity to bend you to their will. They seen it as an opportunity to drain you energetically. They may not have even been doing it intentionally, right? But they wasn't conscious or aware. So the unconscious mind is being ruled by the carnal, right? So when the carnal is in charge, right, and you're not conscious of what's going on, you know, it's going to do whatever it has to do, what the body says, you know, because it's a slave to the body instead of the other way around. That's what being illuminated actually means. It means that the body's now your slave, right? But notice, and I pick and choose my moments too. I give over to my body sometimes, you know, when I want to, but it's because I was stimulated up here. So when you're in control up here, you can say, okay, now it's time to, you know, to let go and let the body take over, right? But when you're just ran by the body, you know what I mean? You're walking around fucking blind. You got blinders on. You can't see, right? What was it? Nicodemus with Jesus, and he's saying, how, you know, he's talking about being born again, right? And he's like, how can you be born again? How can you go back in your mother's womb? Right? And he's like, how can I talk to you about heavenly things when you don't even understand the earthly things? Like, that's what it feels like, uh, you know, for a person that is aware or conscious or spiritual to talk to a carnal person. You know what I mean? They're walking, they can't see out of the eye that counts. They only use these. So if it doesn't line up with their worldly view, if it doesn't line up with their perception of how things are supposed to be, they can't see it. They're blind to it. In most people's reality, because we mirror everything, becomes a reflection of self. That's why you get these selfish people that are self-absorbed, that can't see past themselves. See, being a true empath means being able to put yourself in another person's position, another person's place. I swear to you, there's sometimes I let my mind go and try to put myself in another person's position, and not and the feeling will be so fucking powerful, like I'll act it out with my body almost. It's like I lose myself when I put myself in other people's spots sometimes. Or I'll get terribly sad because I feel their heart and feel their pain, feel their loss, their trauma, you know. And not everybody's able to do that. You know, that's a gift that we have. You know, I don't believe in a sixth sense or anything. I believe we got multiple senses that we're not, you know, we're not using, we're not experiencing. And that's because most of us aren't unlocked. You know, it starts with the activation. You know, and activation is there's a big resistance to activation. I had it too, where you got your heels in the fucking, you know, the dirt, and you're saying, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, right? Because you're getting your reality challenged. You're getting the way you think challenged. And you were made to believe that you were right about everything, but you're wrong, right? You thought you were right about everything, but you find out, and most of us have to find out the hard way how wrong we are, which sucks, but that's part of the refinement, right? It's burning the stupidity out of your ass, you know? And I was a pretty stupid motherfucker, so I had to have a lot refined. I had to learn a lot of hard lessons. I'm still learning lessons to this very day. Um, it's hard to handle. Pray a lot. Does a person with no empathy get saved? Because I won't believe they can be. Many stories of people in the Bible. Jody. You know what? In my opinion, a person without empathy is a person disconnected from the source, a person disconnected from God. You know, they've um they've sold their soul, so to speak. And there's what's called the Faustian bargain. I've talked about it quite a bit, where we don't write our name in blood, but the choices we make, right? The choices we make, we give a little bit of ourselves over each time. And every time we deny love, we lose, we shrink, right? We shrink, we become harder, colder, smaller, right? So that's why it pays off for you to be vulnerable because you're growing. Even if somebody rips you a fucking new one, right? For trusting them, you're growing because you're opening up or you're unfolding, you know. And the more you draw back in and resist, change, you resist truth, you resist love, you get smaller. So there's nothing left. And I think there is a certain point where a narcissist, there's no coming back. But we all have narcissistic tendencies. To me, it wouldn't be about trying to save that narcissist. It would be trying to save yourself and then letting yourself be the example. Huh? Not sure what's going on with all that. Um, but it's about trying to be yourself and demonstrate to that person that your way is a better way, right? So instead of trying to win people over or save people, you can't save anyone. They have to save themselves. They have to save themselves. What is up with the chat? Jesus wept only once. I don't know how many times Jesus actually wept in his life, just to keep it real. But we've all, we've all cried, we've all wept. I feel like I'm not seeing. Is the chat fucked up or something, yo? Huh. But anyways, we can't save other people. You have to save yourself. Just like nobody can save you. Nobody can save you. And that's what they've got this mentality of. And that's why they did what they've done with religion, with church. You weep all the damn time. You need a hug, girl. You need a hug, Jody. Somebody give Jody a hug, man. Says she weeps all the time. It's not good. Not good. I'm not sure what the fuck. You do need a hug? I'll give you a hug. Somebody give her a hug, man. Yeah, I can give you a hug. Buzz around you. I know what you mean, though. And you know what? And we're electrical beings, too. So when we do touch, there's an exchange of energy. Exchange of energy. I was telling somebody on the phone this not too long ago. Um, I was going to like meet them or something, trying to warn them not to be weirded out because one of the first things I do when I meet a person is I touch them. I touch them because I want to make that connection. Immediately. The air's charged between us already, right? And we can generate stress and anxiety and all of that nervous energy will generate that and almost create like a force field around us. So people won't want to, there's no comfort there, right? The energy's too chaotic, right? When you're unsure of something, right? When you don't know something, you're like, okay, I don't know if this person's nice. I don't know if this person's mean. I don't know if they're going to kill me. I don't know if they're going to love me. I don't know what's going on with this person. So when you're around a stranger, there's that doubt, that lack of trust. It creates a chaotic energy because you are chaotic on the inside and we project outwardly, right? So we're stressing and we have this ball of stress around us. So one of the first things I do, and I mean, I am a master at mind control, so that could also be why, but I will touch a person to kind of ground their energy, to connect mine to theirs. And even if it's just brushing past them, you know what I mean? I don't like grab their fucking ass cheek or something very much. I don't. I have, but I usually know them if I do that. Anyways, um, but like I'll just, touch their hand or their back or something like that, just a little brush. That way it sucks all that chaotic energy out of the atmosphere and it grounds the energy. And now there's a connection, a direct connection between me and the person, and they can feel my energy now, right? Because that's what we do when we're learning who each other are, when we're getting to know each other. And this doesn't have to be a sexual thing between a man and woman, it can be any situation, it can be a business transaction. When we don't know each other, that's what conversation is doing. That's what phonetics are doing. They are us deciphering one another's energy. That's what a conversation is. And we're using words to jockey our energy back and forth. We're jousting our energy with words. Our words are also an energetic frequency as well, right? So, when you say something really sharp or angry, there's a sharp and angry frequency that comes along with that. And that's why it hurts when you hear it, right? Words is just the phonetic version of your energy. And see, uh, I think that anytime we don't know a person too, you know what I mean? Like we're trying to strip them down, essentially. Some literally, but we're trying to strip them down. We're trying to take down the wall, right? And see what their energy is underneath all of that. So we say, where are you from? You know, who was your mom? Blah blah blah. Right? We start. What do you do for a living? Right? And we're trying to find out what's your energy. Is it compatible with mine? Are we the same? Are we different? Do you have energy, you fucking vampire? you know? Pheromones. Yeah, pheromones is a chemical expression of the energy though. Yeah. And and that's what I mean. Everything is like a multifaceted, multi-layered, multi-dimensional reality, but it's spirit that's permeating all of them. Right? Spirit crawls through every layer of that. And we call it emotion, but emotion is an energetic expression of energy. We call it pheromones, right? That's a chemical expression of energy, right? Like it doesn't matter. It's all expressions of energy because you're fucking energy. We live in an electromagnetic reality. It's energy, it's an energy field. We see a holographic reality. Why? Because it's a projection of electromagnetism. It's light being bent. And that's what the archons or the rulers of this reality are. They're the seven rays of light, right? So those spectrums, which make up the rainbow, which is the covenant with God, right? How wild is that? And God's name is Electric, right? And he has arc, like electrical arc, angels or angles, right? Because those are also expressions. And you know what? God's angels are demonic, by the way. I'm convinced of it. Convinced of it. Because dig this, y'all. Where is the darkest spot of a room? Darkest spot of a room. Does anybody know where the darkest place in anybody's house? Where will the darkest place in a room be? Somebody please tell me in the chat, where is the darkest place in a room? The darkest place in the room, chat. I want to know the answer. Somebody fucking tell me now, please. But now, the darkest place in a room, the corner. Yes. Thank you, Jahar Ali. You're the shiznit. Here, I'm gonna pop your ass up. Let's see if I can. Maybe. God damn it. Never mind. Maybe I won't. Yes, the corner. The corner. So whenever you and think about it, if the four angles are angles, right? And we see demons and all of this, and it was the show that Justin actually told me about, Midnight Mass or whatever, I think was the name of it. And in it, the angel of the Lord was a giant winged fucking demon that sucked blood. And he was an angel of the Lord, man. And you start thinking about it, right? Satan, which would be God of this world, right? It wouldn't be source creator, but he would be God. Straight up, y'all. And that might tick some of you guys off. And I'm not saying I worship him. I'm not saying you should worship him. I'm not saying he's, you know, I'm saying I think Satan loves us actually, too, by the way. Ain't that crazy? Like, I think Satan might love us because he's playing his part to help us grow. Yes, he will devour your ass, right? He will. He'll consume you if you let him. If you give yourself to him, he'll devour you. But if you use him as an opportunity for growth, right? And you become more godlike because of him. So think about this, okay? So the darkest place in a room is the corner, and that's a 90-degree angle. The tetragrammaton and people dropped off from it. Go get your dogmatic bitch ass out of here. Bye. The tetragrammaton is the name of God, right? It's a swastika, among other things. Hands nailed, feet nailed, the cross, which a cross is a cube unfolded, right? The cube God or cube Allah, right? Kubala, right? So these four angles, four horsemen, um, these make up the Holy One, the whole as in the circle or the sun disk, right? Only way to the Father is through the Son, right? And it's the God of death and rebirth, which is a circle of life or circle of death, right? It's a construct of time, you know. So these angles, right? These 90-degree angles, they're darkness, right? That's where the darkness goes in a room, right? Is into the angles it's micro, macro. So the angels of the Lord are probably what we would call demons. Not like the demons that run around pinching your ass and jumping in your dreams and terrorizing you. Not those kind. Those are lower degraded demons, right? Those are fallen. But I mean, we don't know, and this is what will blow your mind. We don't know, like, I feel like demons, angels, spirits are indifferent to our concept of good and evil. You know what I mean? Like, they're indifferent to it. So if you step up to an entity on the other side, right, and you're calling it evil or something like that, I feel like it's going to crush you because you're still on some super, super low vibe duality shit. You know what I mean? You're on some low vibe duality shit. It's so far above that concept, right? So when it kills a person, a man, right, like the angel of death or whatever, when it takes a life, it has no guilt or anything for it because To it, it's beyond the concept of those things. It does nothing out of malice. I feel like the lower degraded demons, they act out of malice, right? Because they're lower consciousness. So they believe in the paradigm of good and evil, duality, the dualistic reality, right? But something of a higher rank, right? They're indifferent to good and evil. They see you, like when you step on an ant, are you doing it to be malevolent? Are you doing it to be dark? Or are you just doing it because you're a fucking giant compared to them, right? And they got in the way. I feel like that's how angels do us, right? We're in the way. They're tasked with a job, right? And whatever said job is. So if it's to harness energy, if it's to if it's to destroy the earth, if it's to destroy a nation, whatever the fucking job is, if you die in the process, that angel feels no bit of grief for it whatsoever. It has no guilt. It's past the concept of good and evil. It's past the concepts of guilt and shame. Guilt and shame are it's a matrix, right? It's a matrix. And that's the rule is love to me. Always the rule is love. And I'm getting hot, sorry. Um, so whenever you're like you can play by either side, right? You can either choose like, okay, well, I'm gonna abide by the rule of love, or I'm gonna abide by the rule of self or selfless, right? And when you're abiding by the rule of love, right? Like you follow love. And if you're truly a light, it's probably the same way, right? Whatever is in line with love, you do, right? So you don't see nothing as good or evil. You're following a line here. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, it's love, so I love. Does this have love? No, then I'm not a part of that, right? Um, and when you're in the darkness side of the paradigm, you follow like probably a line of carnality. So whatever you're supposed to be doing on that side of the spectrum, you don't look at it as like, well, and that's why I think they can sacrifice children and shit. They don't see it as evil. They don't see it as bad. They see that as a ball of energy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's to them, there's no guilt associated with it. They know that the reality is an illusion. So they're not actually killing nobody in their mind. As you and I, we buy into the reality. We buy into the reality. So we're like, oh, what the fuck? You could just kill it. You know what I mean? You just sacrifice the fucking person, because we believe that's an actual person. They understand it's not. They understand there's no such thing as a person. It's just a mask, a projection. And they also understand that whatever's under that projection is eternal and you can't kill it. You know what I'm saying? We're just an experience right now. Like, so you gotta kind of like look at these beings, and like you really start to look at them differently. And I've heard this too, in witchcraft. Like, say in witchcraft, you call on an entity. If you don't step to that motherfucker the right way, they'll rip you a new asshole straight up, right? And that's one of the ways you have to step to them, right? Like, say I want to call in a demon to, you know, destroy you because I don't like you, right? So whatever the reason, and usually they have to harm you. I can't just do something full of evil or malevolence just because I want to, right? Because if I harm you, I'm harming myself, right? So that's going to come back in my face. You know what I mean? And that's why the elite, that's why they use a buffer in between. They use us to co-create, to attract, to manifest. That way, when it blows up in their face, it blows up in the face of the person who created it, which would be us. You know what I mean? It would be us. We would be the ones who created that spell, actually, because they tricked us into creating it. So we take the blowback from it. And that's the experience of the world we're in now. Everybody's taking the blowback from all the dark magic they've done, right? We're watching it happen, right now. So When we create darkness and shit like that, and like you're trying to approach one of these entities, I've always heard if you're still stuck in the dualistic paradigm, if you're still stuck in the dualistic paradigm and you try to step to one of these entities and you see them as like a fallen angel or a demon, that's what you'll get. You know what I mean? You're going to get something so nasty and evil because that's your reality of this thing. That's your thought of this thing. And matter of fact, it's going to see you as such a low form of being, it's not going to serve you either. Solomon, the wisest man to ever live, right? He commanded demons to build his temple, right? And you start to understand what they're actually talking about, right? You start to understand, like, oh, okay, I can command demons because, you know, there's really no such thing as good and evil. And when I'm in that state, you're right. Like I understand it all. I no longer am in split by the duality. A house divided against itself cannot stand. Right. And Solomon commanded demons to build his temple. Right. So like when you got this understanding of all of it, you're like, whoa, these angles, these angels are corners. They're spots of darkness, focused darkness, right? And they're indifferent to anything in this world. They're indifferent to what my fucking thoughts or feelings are of any of this shit. And I don't recommend you do witchcraft of any sort or sacrifice anybody, any way, shape, or form. But I'm using it as an example. Um, and you say, like, these things are indifferent to anything. So if you have this understanding and you're in that higher state, you're in God truly, you become God. You become an extension of the Father, right? And that's how I think Jesus was able to do what he did. Jesus was God incarnate. You get me? Is this making sense to anybody, or am I just a fucking psycho? Don't answer the last part, please. I mean, is this making sense to you, or am I just a psycho? Jesus became God incarnate because he conquered death and Hades, right? Like he understood the whole shit, right? He understood. Um, yes, makes sense. Yes, it makes sense. Okay, I gotta get a heat check sometimes. Motherfuckers talking about Dungeons and Dragons in the chat and shit. I don't know what the hell's going on. Dive in head first and learn to swim. You hit some tool on me, bro? Bro, huh? Anyways, so yeah, uh, when you are in in that place where you're like, okay, I've become Solomon. I have wisdom now, right? So I no longer see the paradigm of good and evil, right? I am indifferent to those things as well, and I am love. I become love, right? You become God incarnate, and then you have the ability to change the whole fucking reality. You can walk on water, right? You're 80% water. You can walk on water because you're on top of the physical, right? The consciousness is out here. You're walking on water, right? You're making the blind see. You feel me? You become God incarnate. You're performing the miracles. Christ said you will do greater works than even he. Greater works than even he. Yes, you do. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, well, and this is what I mean, though. How many people do you think are really there? This is not like It's not very many, guys. I think there really might be only 144,000 because maybe there's only 144,000 genuine souls. And I start to question myself too. Like, are the people that don't relate, the people that don't click with us in our understanding, are they real? Are they real? Are they incapable of it? Right? Is it this living spirit that comes alive in you? And if you don't have it, you just don't have it. You're just a husk. You're just a shell. You can't understand what being indifferent to good and evil would be. You can't understand what being God incarnate would be. You're incapable. You're just a husk, right? You're a shell. That's it. You don't have that flame inside of you. So how can the song of fire and ice, right? You're on the ice side of shit. You're a drone. Yeah, you are. You're a drone. A simulation. Yeah, William Harper, I agree with that. And Jahara, both of you, I agree with that. Absolutely. You are, right? Um, you like calling people drones? Yeah, normies, NPCs, non-player characters, right? And notice how I did a video, what, a week ago, a few days ago, guys? Right? Did LARPs change the future? Fuck yeah, they did, dude. Live action role player. They changed the future because they're the only ones that are fucking real. Targeted individuals were targeted because they were the only ones with a soul. They're not worried about all these other people. Everybody else who stepped up for the jab and shit is not, they don't exist really. They don't exist really. This is already over. They're trying to trick the people who do have a soul into taking it. That's why they won't stop. They won't stop if they get 99% of the population. Do you understand? It's not for all those fucking empty bodies, dude. It's for you. It's for you. And when they whittle it down to where there's only a few that haven't, they'll know for a fact. There'll be no guessing. There'll be no, well, this person could be or couldn't be. I think they can read our energetic frequency. I think that that's what a lot of these planes and shit are doing and drones. They're like reading frequency. I don't even know, like satellites and shit. We think they're taking pictures of the Earth. I think they're reading frequencies to spot all of us out. I've seen no evidence to support that, anything else in this world is going on, but the darkness trying to hone in on where the light is and trying to put it out. You know, trying to put it out. So happy to see me on. Thank you, Lauren. You guys know, like, if I'm not on, you're allowed to, like, text me or direct message me. People are allowed to do that. You guys don't have to always see me on YouTube. I'm not going to be on that much. I'm keeping it real, but obvious reasons why. You know, obvious reasons why. I can't burn you out with these kind of videos, but I thought it'd be cool to do tonight. You know, so that's why I'm doing it. It's been intense. It has been intense, has it not? Um, they change what you're saying. They change the future by directing our attention. Straight up, yo, I agree with you. They change the future by directing our attention. They don't change it, we change it. But yes, you're right. They're like a maestro. We're the instrument playing the sound. And they're like, that's what they're doing with their magic wand. See how that works? Micro, macro. The maestro making the frequencies move to the tune he wants. He's a wizard, right? And when you master this, you become a wizard, right? That's why neuro linguistic programming, you are a practitioner. You're practicing word magic, right? Words are magic. They're the key. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, right? It's the vibration of sound. And in some languages, sin means sound. So it's saying we were born into sin, we were born into sound, right? Sound is a low density, low variation of the frequency of light, right? When you get light at such a place that it starts to vibrate, it makes a sound, you know? So even sound, darkness, technically is light, comes out of goodness. So when they say everything comes from the spirit, it truthfully does. The spirit is light, right? It's waves of light. And that's what we're doing constantly. We are antennas. We're receiving those electrical waves and those vibrations, right? And it hits our hard drive there, our processor, right? And we interpret what those signals mean, right? So we see something, these images of light, these light waves crawling at us, hits our eyeballs. We take it, and those electrical signals are then transmitted through the synapses to our brain. Our brain processes it, brings it back to the eyeball, and says it's a dog, right? Because that's what we perceive it as. But it's really just an organized array of light, right? So there's really no dog there. There is no spoon, right? There really isn't, you know. So he says, when you're bending the spoon, you have to understand you're really just bending yourself. That's the truth. That's what we're doing. Same thing with sound, right? That low density that begins to vibrate, it vibrates into a sound wave, right? Rattles our eardrums. Our eardrums transmit the electrical synapses to our brain, and poof, we think we hear a trumpet or a horse or whatever, right? It's magic. It's magic. And when you get behind the wheel on all this, you start to understand it. You understand, like, some days I'm caught halfway between becoming an evil genius and conquering the world, and you know, just using it to be as free as possible. I get caught between both. I got a dark side, so some days I'm like, damn, if I wanted to, I could use this knowledge to do anything I want. There's no, I feel this in my heart of hearts. There's nothing that can stop me. You know what I mean? Nothing could stop me. And nothing could stop you except you. That's how awesome we are. There's no reality, there's no world, there's no possibility I can't have. I make them. I make them. There's no person I can't have. I called them to me, right? I made that. I made that. So why wouldn't I be able to have that? When you start looking at it like that, you empower yourself on a whole nother level. And that's what I mean. Try talking to a person that's not on that level. They don't fucking get it. They're like, no, but the stop sign said stop. Like, bitch, I made the stop sign. I made inertia. Don't tell me what stopping is. You know, but it's the truth though. Like, there's no rules to any of this. We make them as we go. We're all freestyling fucking life, man. It's what we're doing. We're freestyling reality is what we're doing. And some of us are better at it than others. But I think that's what we're here to do, is to learn how to freestyle reality. That way we can become the god of our own universe. If our Father is the creator of all, then what's our inheritance? It's going to be all. Right? The Son does what the Father does. Right? And that's what Christ was trying to tell you. Right? I can have nothing apart from my Father who sent me. Everything that's my Father's is mine. Right? I am the truth, the way, the life. He was trying to tell you these things. People didn't get it. The dumb apes made a religion out of him. They're like, oh, he died for our sins and all that. Yeah, he did. But you're going to have to die for yours too, though, dude. And it's not even a physical death. It means dying to the world, dying to the way you think. That's why he was crucified in the place of the skull. Right? That's why the Romans put the fucking crown of thorns back on his head. When it was put there. Like, you think you won? You think you escaped? It was to show you also you can't escape in the physical. You can't escape in the physical. That's why he says those who lose their lives will find it. Right? They did not love their lives so much that they were afraid to die. When you start to understand all of this, it flips your whole fucking world upside down. You're like, what do you mean? I thought the point was to stay alive. Uh, I thought I had to be a good little bitch and do everything that the law said. And then, that book there said what's right and wrong. You mean none of that's true? None of that's real? That I'm the master of my own reality? That I am, I'm a baby God? That God's really my dad? Yep, that's exactly what it means. You're not going to hell for nothing unless you send yourself there. And most of you will. Most of you will. You believe in the concept so much that you created hell for yourself. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like when we do the whole astral projection thing or astral travel, and this is like something that happens a lot. People say, John, don't astral project. There's terrible entities over there. No, there's not. It's just me. It's just me. All of those entities over there are projections of us. They're projections of us. And if you're going into the astral or when you're meditating and shit, you know what I mean? Like you can ask yourself any question, man. You know, any question, and you will give yourself the answer. You're tripping? Possibly. But, I mean, truth be told, I don't think so. Bible, Quran, and Torah sharing fake news long before social media. Well, that's what the gospel is. It's the God spell. The God spell. You did DMT? Hell yeah, that's cool. Did you see the machine elves? Did you see the machine elves when you did DMT? Yeah, it's called the God spell, right? God spell. You're under this spell and illusion that there's this fucking mean and evil God that made you and trapped you in flesh and is punishing you for how he made you. And he made you faulty, by the way. You're like malfunctional and shit because this perfect God made you imperfect on it. And because he made you imperfect, he had a son that he's going to murder. So his blood could cleanse you of your imperfection that you were born with because the perfect God made you imperfect. Do you not understand how fucking nonsensical that is? Do you see how upside down they got you? See how upside down they got you? Say, no, that's blasphemy, John. No, you're going to hell. I might. There's always that possibility, but I wouldn't count on that. You know, we needed that at one time. You understand? We needed that concept at one time. We were in our infancy, consciously. We were. Um, just like we needed symbolism, just like we needed sacred geometry, numerology. We needed those things at one time. We needed the gods at one time until we could evolve enough to find it in ourselves. So we could evolve enough to understand the nature of God without him having to be like us, right? Jesus was the final evolution of that to me. The perfect man, right? Giving you a representation of how to become God yourself, or become like God, shall I say, yourself. That was the final level. And because that happened, we're now ready to shed these bodies and go to the next stage of all of this and actually be in union with God, or the energy of God, right? We're ready for that now. And that's what all of this is. And all of the terrors, all of the darkness, those who cannot break out of this, right? And they've given all their light away. Excuse me. Excuse me. They've given all their light away. They cannot break out of this. They become part of Satan, Samael, right? And they're recycled back over. I think they take that soul, they slap it on another spirit. That spirit eats the soul, it grows bigger. They take a soul, slap it on another spirit, that spirit eats the soul, grows bigger, or vice versa, right? But they're constantly, just like the serpent eating its own tail, or the dragon eating its own tail. We're constantly both doing it to each other, light and darkness. There's never a winner. You feel me? There's never a winner. It's all really controlled by light, but darkness is the projection of it all, right? So, so when you think about it, like that's our reality now, you know, because we're all shifting into this higher state of consciousness. And this is my opinion. You can call me a crazy guy if you want. I don't care. Trust me, I don't care. Um, like the Blob. I mean, yeah, kind of like the Blob, I guess. Kind of like the Blob, yeah. But because there's this transfer of energy, going on, it's like this eternal battle. And you look, and you even see too where, like in the stories of Ra and shit, or Samael, they talk about how he expelled the light from him. So our concept of God is that eternal light where everything came out of. So there was evil inside of God too. He expelled the evil into matter, right? So matter is a reflection of God. It's a low density vibration. It's the sound of God. The devil is the sound of God, right? So those roaring waters, those voices that sound like 1,000 thunders and all of that, it's the sound of God. God is omnipresent. He's everywhere, all-knowing, unchanging. He is a spiritual essence where all creation, all life comes out of, right? The devil is the outer expression of said light. He's the sound of all of that, right? Which becomes a distortion, right? It becomes a distortion. Wow. Well, I don't know if that's a good wow or a bad wow. Um, yeah, God is the light. I agree with that. Yes, God is the light. And you said what? We are the projectors. And yes, we are the projectors. We're like we're the lampstands, man. Right? We're the lampstands. We're the caretakers of the spirit. What is it the Holy Prophecy said? Yeah, God is the light. Our minds are the projectors. Absolutely, Johara. Yes, you're correct. 1,000% correct. I agree with that. 1,000%. If thine eye be single, then thy whole body be filled with light. Right? It's the mind's eye that actually makes the picture. Okay, and I'll tell you something that lets you know how fucking true this is too. All right, our optical nerve. I don't know if you guys know this. There's a space between our optical nerve and our brains, right? Like there's like a gap, a little tiny gap where our optical nerve and brain connects. And I was watching this whole thing about this, and it was saying that in essence, what that means is, even though we receive that light wave, right, that energetic frequency through the prism or the firmament of our eyes, right? And remember, the world is just one giant eyeball too. It's the third eye of the collective consciousness, right? Okay, so we get that light through the firmament of our eye, and as it travels down the optical nerve or the tail of the comet, right? The tail of the star, right? Micro, macro. At the end of that, at the end of that, there is a space between the brain and the optical nerve where we create. We create what we're seeing. So there's no direct connection. There's a gap in between of matter, of space, if you will, which is a space in which we use to fill in the blanks. So we're creating what we think we see completely. So that means everything is really a projection of the mind, right? Even what we're thinking are these connections. We're interpreting those frequencies. What is it? The brain TV? Yeah, pretty much. That's why this is like a movie. So even though we think we're, seeing, hearing, whatever, right? There's gaps in between these nerves and the direct connection to the hard drive. So what this actually means, mind blown. So what this actually means is that we are, in essence, everything we're seeing, everything we're hearing is all a true manifestation of all of us. And this has to make you wonder why we're all having a similar experience then. You feel me? How can we all have a similar reality, a shared reality, right? If we're all creating the reality from scratch, basically. We're interpreting these signals that are running through our brain and these frequencies. We're deciding what they would sound like. We're deciding what they would hear like. And remember in the Matrix when they're eating the food and he's like, how do you know what toasted wheat tastes like? Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of concept. We don't know what nothing actually tastes like, looks like, sounds like. We've never actually experienced it. We created that through electrical patterns in our fucking brain. So we don't know if everything actually tastes like chicken. We don't know what chicken tastes like. We made up the taste of chicken. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking nuts when you think about it. It is nuts when you think about it. And if we're all sharing a collective reality, a collective experience, this is what proves we're not different then. This is what proves I'm you and you're me. Because we're all sharing a collective reality. So I think that we're like, like when they talk about the different angels, the cherubim and shit, and how they have like 1,000 eyes on them and shit like that. We're one of the eyeballs on one big giant being. We're one of the eyeballs on one big giant being. Is that not wild? Oh, you're rewinding? Collective consciousness? Yes. Collective consciousness. But see, there's an individual expression within that whole collective, though. Right? Just like your toes can all wiggle or your fingers can all move, they're all part of the hand, right? But each one of them has its own independent nerves going to it to make it a member, right? A member of the body. So deep. Hey, man. Sad part is, people won't watch this video. Nobody will ever even see this. Straight up. Nobody will ever even see this. That's the sad part about it. You know, I don't have graphics blinking at you, and I'm not fucking hypnotizing you. So, you don't want to watch it. You don't want to hear it. But these are the things that I think about, like in my own free time. And these are the things that I ponder, the things that I wonder, right? And each day the doors open a little bit wider for me. They open a little bit wider and give me a bigger glimpse. And we know that there is a certain point where um, it says that the mysteries of God will be revealed. Knowledge increases, and there's like this earthquake that killed 7,000 people. This is the mysteries of God will be revealed. Well, I wonder how close we are to all of that. We're definitely at a place of it was like when the Great Conjunction happened. And if you think about it, if the 7 planets are the rulers of this reality and they're the 7 rays of light, which make up the rainbow or the covenant with God, the arc of the covenant, the electrical arc of the covenant, right? So they're an energetic expression. And we're experiencing their energy and through life, and that's what I mean. Like, so every single part of it, like, we're them, they're us. There's nothing, none of it separated, but yet it's all individual expressions of something. So, it's so crazy. It's like fucking wild, man. Like, you can't make this shit up, dude. You can't make this shit up. This is I can't. Well, see, it's that according to how they're aligned is the amount of amplification to that frequency, right? So if when Jupiter usurps Saturn, each one has an archetype, right? A persona to it, basically, an archetype. And those archetypes are representative of different things, okay? They're energetic frequencies as well. So Saturn being the ruler of this reality or the god of the blind, right? He represents control, right? He represents control, order. That's what he represents, right? Restriction. Okay. Jupiter being an archetype, right? He's called the shining one. He represents justice, right? Justice. It's Kronos and Zeus, right? Or Odin and Thor. They're all the same stories. They're all talking about the same things. And that's what I'm saying. None of the religions are wrong, but they're all wrong at the same time. It's a paradox, dude. You know why? Because we're a paradox. We're a paradox. So everything that comes out of us is a paradox as well. We don't exist, yet we do. We're not real, yet we are. We're not here, yet we're there. Right? We're holding space in this spot, whatever space is. If space does exist, but space actually doesn't, because everything is. You get me? Like, it's fucking out there, man. It's out there. But when you come into and seeing that's ascension. That's ascension. At the higher dimensions, the higher levels of consciousness. Right? Just like the space between the optical nerve and the brain. That's your aura, dude. Think of your brain, right, as the end of the optical nerve. And this being the space in between you, which God would be the brain. So you're the optical nerve. God is the brain. Your consciousness is that space between. How fucking gnarly is that? right? And it's what's creating all of this. Micro, macro, as above, so below, right? Truth? Fuck yeah, it's truth. Fuck yeah, it's truth. People don't like to hear it from me. I'm not what they expect. But maybe you should change your expectations. And people will watch somebody because they got a fucking bun on their head and a tie dye shirt. They think that makes them enlightened, right? And I could have forgotten more than that person knows, but because the way I look, they can't, they won't possibly believe that enlightenment could come from me, right? Or you, for that matter, depending on how you look or how you are. You know, you shine brightly. Oh, thank you. But however you see me, I don't see myself. That's a fact. That's a fact. Um, when people say, I see you as a work of perfection. I see you as pure love. I see you as blameless, you know? But it's impossible for me to see me that way. So I have to see it in you in order to see it, right? I have to see it in you in order to see it. You're beautiful. Thank you. That's really nice of you. It's really nice of you. Seriously, thank you. Appreciate that. Uh, I don't, I don't feel like that most days. And I'll be real with you, man. Um, when we get in that space, right, where you know, we're shifting into, the higher realms, if you will. It's very lonely, very lonely. We don't all shift at the same time. And as bad as we want other people to shift with us, they can only shift themselves. That sounded like I just said they can only shift themselves, didn't it? I mean, they can only shift themselves, right? If they don't desire it, they'll never have it, right? All who seek will find, you know? Those who seek will find. That was funny, wasn't it? They can only shift themselves. They can only shift themselves, said the wise master, right? And that's what I mean, though, guys. We can't. It's like we're talking fucking Japanese to a German person, right? Like the two languages don't even sound the same, right? We're like, oh, they don't get it. They don't get it. They never will. And by the time they do, if they do, I doubt they will even then, right? As they're screaming for their lives, as they are disintegrated into ions, they're like, no. Like, I don't think they'll even understand it then. They won't understand it till they're, in the giant urn of the world, right? Which we call hell or whatever, right? They're in that giant ashtray. They probably won't get it then. It's only ignorance of the flesh, right? So they walk in ignorance, they walk in darkness, they walk in blindness all the time. We can plant seeds, but in order for a seed to grow, it has to be watered. It has to be nurtured. And think about it. How many people are watering their seed? How many people are nurturing theirs? Man, it's lonely as a motherfucker. Straight up. You know, straight up. It's not lonely because I feel like I have to say this because I'm still a carnal person. It's not lonely in the aspect of nobody likes me, that kind of loneliness. Like I couldn't be around somebody physically. I could if I chose to. It's lonely as in my soul is alone. You know what I mean? Nobody speaks to that. And if I speak to theirs, they get scared. They get scared of that. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. If you speak to a person's soul they can't speak to their soul themselves, they get scared. Like, what language are you speaking? You know, who are you talking to, good sir? I'm talking to the real you. Put the representative away, motherfucker. Bring me the manager. I want to speak to your manager. You're like, no, John, you cannot talk to the manager. I've never met them. I don't know. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And isn't that what a real soulmate would be? Right? We got this whole idea of like, excuse me, they're the same soul as us and all this. That's what makes a soulmate. Well, if that's the case, then you're all soulmates. You know what I mean? We're all soulmates. If that's the case, a soulmate to me is somebody who can speak to your soul and you speak to theirs. So you have the understanding that you're the same soul and you come from the same place. It's not as exciting as the other version of soulmate, not, but it rings true more, you know. So life of Brian, you guys are silly. You will what though? Oh, you know you do. If anyone ever tries, it's you, and all you can do is work and love people. Oh, well, thank you. If anyone ever tries, oh, that's sweet of you. I do. I try to speak to your guys' soul. I swear I do. I try it with all my heart and soul. And that's why I feel like I get upset. I get upset because people can't look past the brain. That's what I mean. Like I get upset because people like want me to wow them with intelligence and speak to their brain. Like when I want to talk to their soul. you know? That's who I'm interested in. I don't give a fuck about your brain, man. That's what I always mean. Like it's not a knock against your intelligence if you're psyoped. It's not a knock against your intelligence if you're not awakened. There are smart people who don't have a fucking clue about their soul. You know? Well, thank you. Thank you. You know, I know. You know what? I do appreciate. I am really happy with how it's all kind of turned out. In a way. I mean, I know I just had something shitty happen. And my fucking computer's wrecked, and that hurts me bad in the physical. Um, especially at Christmas time. I have 3 children, and this is my job, so it's crushing me. I got 50 something people all together, right? That's killing me. Like as far as my physical world goes, but I feel like spiritually speaking, um, I can honestly say, like, I'm happy with the people that have remained for the most part because I feel like we've trimmed the fat off quite a bit in this community. We've trimmed the fat off. Um, I can remember going to my Discord, and dude, there's nothing more rude or ugly than this either. But they wouldn't care. Go to my Discord and see the people gossiping about me and talking bad about me in my own Discord. You know what I mean? Like, we've trimmed the fat away on all of that stuff. Or people getting super dogmatic and, those kind of things. And see, physical John got his, feelings are hurt by things like that. Like, damn, that's what they think of me. That's how they feel about me. It bothers me when people think really low of me. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck. So, you see me as this, like nobody wants to be seen as something they're not, nobody. So it would bother me to see those things. But like spiritual John understands, like, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. You know, they're ignorant to the things they're doing in a lot of ways. You know, and those were always people that were me people. Me. Those kind of people, and you have those in your life no matter where you go, no matter what you do. Oh, and I'm right on that too. Doesn't matter what kind of job you got, what kind of life you have, there's always going to be those kind of people that clown you behind your back, that take advantage of you, you know, put you down, treat you like shit. You're always going to have arrogant fucks that are full of themselves, people who can't see past themselves. Their whole reality is about them. They can't even look at another person's life or empathize with the person at all because they're spiritually crippled, or spiritually retarded is a better word for it, but trying to be sensitive. And we're not going to break that. We're not going to shake that from everybody. We can only do it within us, you know. And I feel like my magnet has pulled your magnet here, and vice versa, right? Vice versa. Like your magnet, both our magnets pulled us together, right? Because we were both attracted. So ooh, we come together, right? So you've been pulling me toward you, and I've been pulling you towards me. That goes for each and every one of us, you know. And that's what astrology and numerology is too. It's like the explanation of the archetypes of energetic frequencies. So, I think people think I'm like bragging when I say like, oh, I'm a 33-6 in numerology. I'm not. I'm trying to tell you, like, I'm a specific kind of magnet, right? Just like you are. So it makes total sense why I'm this magnet because I was born to be this magnet, right? And you're born to be your magnet. There's no mistake. And every magnetic signature is like a fingerprint. Did you know that? No two are the same. So when you look like at an electromagnetic field on a celestial body, they all give off their own signature, like a fingerprint. You're a celestial body. This is your ship, your space ship, your vessel. Cool, man. It's your planet, your world, right here. You know, here's your North Pole, and I'm not going to show you my South Pole, but it's a pole in itself. Just leave it at that, right? Those are our poles, right? It's actually in our core. right there. It's our core. And that's what generates the field. Isn't it amazing? Micro, macro. Then you look at the earth and you see the collective version of it. You know, you see the collective version. Certain frequencies, I gotta wait till that comes down a tap. Nice to see you, by the way. Nice to see 7-Eleven. You know, I got mad love for you. For sure, for sure. One of my favorites. One of my favorites. But that's what I'm saying, though. So, like, you guys have heard me talk about astrologically, like, your natal chart goes off the moment you were conceived, right? So, however, the planets and the stars were aligned, each star is light. Yes, yes, John. Okay. Each star is aligned, and those stars give off their light, which is an energetic frequency. And some were pointed closer, some were at angles, right? So there's a different mathematical equation for this light and the geometric patterns and shapes that it was emitting to you. Our brain is binary code, ones and zeros, and numbers are frequencies. So certain frequencies just harmonize with each other. Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we are in harmony, right? We are in harmony. Straight up. Straight up. Because we are the same frequency. We are of the same being, the same body, the body of Christ, and we're members of that body, right? Individual expressions, but yet united in unity. And the moment you were conceived, remember, sex magic is the most powerful magic. It's the act of creation. It's the Big Bang. I'm sorry, I'm a child, but it's the Big Bang, right? Rhythm, correspondence, polarity. You feel me? Right? Like the seven hermetic principles. Same fucking thing. Right? So you have these things going on, right? And it's the seed, semen, sea foam, the waters above the firmaments, right? It's all it is. Same story. Just at a very, you know, the serpent in the garden, right? There's nothing new under the sun. As above, so below. I'm taking my energetic frequency and I'm imprinting it on a female or a man with a womb, right? And remember, womb means matrix in the Bible. Did you know that? That a womb is a matrix, or a matrix is a womb in the Bible. I wonder if you knew that. Some of you do, I'm sure. Some of y'all are some smart fucking cookies. Hopefully, chocolate chip cookies too. I like those a lot. Yes, you did know that? Well, there you go. And you guys have heard me talk about the womb theory too. How we go from womb to womb to womb to womb because we're always being born right into new realities, new creations because we're always creating. We're always big banging over and over and over again, right? So my consciousness is in the womb of my brain. My brain is in the womb of my skull. My skull is in the womb of my body. My body is in the womb of my house. My house is in the womb of my city. My city is in the womb of my county and my state and my country, my continent, my world, right? My world, my galaxy, my universe. You feel me? Womb, 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 womb. One inside the other, side the other, side the other. It's like those little Russian dolls, man. You know? It's fucking so cool when you think about it. right? So we're like looking in a mirror. Like, you ever take two mirrors, you can see like that infinite reflection? That's your reality. That's reality. That's why they use black mirrors, right? To bring in other shit. Cell phones, TVs, computers. Thanks, John. Nope, didn't know that. Well, you're welcome, Lauren. Thank you. I appreciate you for being here and for watching. Like I said, man, like, there's not very many of us. There really isn't. And this can be like a super hard, it's hard to deal with these things anyways. It is. It's hard to deal with this shit anyways. It's reality shattering, right? It's reality shattering to know these things. It fucks you up sometimes. That's that little scroll in Revelation, right? Where you eat that scroll, sweet in your mouth, bitter in your belly. Or like in the Gospel of Thomas, where it talks about, the truth, right? How you love it, then you hate it, then you love it again, right? Same thing. Nobody likes to know the whole world they live in is false. Most people stop there. They stop there. And they say nothing has any meaning, right? Just like in the Bible, meaningless. Everything is meaningless. There's nothing new under the sun, right? Because there's not. There's not. But then when you take it deeper, you can see the meaning. And when you take it deeper and deeper and deeper, it takes you back to the source. You're like, wow, this is amazing. How are we? Who's the magician that did this? Then you say, it's you. You're the magician that did this. Right? You're the magician that did this. That's the mind twister right there, These paradoxes. But you aren't at the same time, right? Because you are God, but you're not God at the same time, right? Everything is and isn't. That's why when the ego, the lower self, asks the higher self, who am I? Who are we? Is that I am what I am. Boom, right? And you only when you come into the I am can you understand what that statement means. You're like, whoa, I am what I am, and I am fucking everything, right? And everyone. And I'm existing simultaneously in a multitude of dimensions, a multitude of realities, and every single possible expression, good, bad, in between. I am. I am the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I am the truth, the way, and the life. Right? Nothing can come to God except through me. Except through me. Right? Nothing can come to God except through the Son. Do you see how it changes everything? This is ascension. The consciousness growing up. And instead of being stuck in the linear physical, we take those baby steps, right? And we start to experience the bigger, the better, the deeper. And it only comes through knowledge of self do we attain knowledge of God. Right? Yeah, we are a Trinity. Yes, we are. We're triune as well. We have to love ourselves. Yeah, yes, we do. I think that's the hardest part of it, isn't it? If we can't love ourselves, we damn sure can't love other people. But you know what? I find it that I can love other people easier than I can myself. I have more forgiveness and understanding for another human being than I do for me. Ain't that weird? It's weird. It's cause it's because we have the accuser in us too, right? We have the accuser in us too, and that accuser, it's powerful down here, dude. And that's why, and look, to me, that's why sex is called making love, right? Because the dark side mimics and copies the light in everything, right? So when we're making love, what are we actually making? We're making life, making life. So what is making love then? Making life, right? Your life, I'm life. So what is love then? Love is life. Life is love. God is love. The rule is love. There is only love. How about that? You know, and to be out of love is to be fallen. You've fallen out of love. You fell out of love, out of God, out of unity, out of wholeness, out of balance. And you're trying to remember how to fall back in love with yourself. And we have other people to fall in love with, right? Because we have that adversary, that accuser inside of us. So it's harder to fall in love with ourselves. So we fall in love with other people to teach us about ourselves, right? That person that does this or that that gets on your nerves, you're learning about you. That person does that you love so much, you just can't let go, you're learning about you. Every failed relationship, every successful, every time you made love, you made life, created life. And that's why a baby comes out of it, right? Because you made life. You made life. And that's why it's called turning a trick when they sell it to you, right? Because you've been tricked out of life, right? The carnality side. There's an inversion for it all, always. As above, so below, right? There's a mirror reflection of it all because you're in the reflection. This is the reflection. So this makes you wonder when you look into a mirror and you're having a seance or whatever, are you actually looking into the mirror or do you live in the mirror? I tend to believe we live in the mirror already. And that's why people hate you too, guys, when you're in the truth, because you become that mirror for them. Truth be told, you mirror, you reflect back at them the things they don't like about themselves. Or the things like you represent something to them that they know they should be, that they know they could be, but they choose not to because they don't want to look at themselves. They don't want to look at themselves. So they don't want to look at you because you remind them of themselves. Good vibes. What's wrong? Well, we got some tears flowing here. Wow. Hey, man. You know, uh, and if you're impressed by any of this, don't be impressed by me. Be impressed by you because you brought the energy to me, right? To give back to you, right? Remember, we're all just reflecting and projecting here. And that's why I can feel the chat, guys. I swear to you, it sounds so Looney Tunes, but I can feel the chat. Like I feel the energy of it. And I hate it when people are a distraction from the chat. It drives me nuts because it becomes a distraction to me, right? So when people are in the chat, when you're trying to break down you're trying to have, it's like a roller coaster, right? The show starts and we're like clanking up the hill. You know what I mean? But once we go, right, like we're riding now and we're picking up momentum, and people try to kill that momentum, right, by throwing some off the wall shit in the chat. And they want everybody to engage with them, right? Because they have to be the center of attention. You know what I mean? They have to be the center of attention, even if it's not the right place or time for them to be. Hey everyone, it's John here, Best Damn Podcast. Last video I was doing or whatever, my phone died, so I have a shitty laptop, and I don't know if it's going to if you're going to be able to. Let me get into the chat here. I do apologize for that. Can you guys see me and hear me? Can you see me and hear me? Everybody let me know if you're seeing me and hearing me, please, so I know. Let me know if you're seeing me and hearing me. I appreciate that. Yes, cool. Awesome. Is my signal coming in all right? This is like a fucking 1980 laptop, so cool. Awesome. Oh shit. Okay. Let me get a microphone on. Yeah. You probably can't hear me very good. No, you should be able to. All right. That should be better. All right. Yep, I'm back. And my bad for that. Like I said, I was using my cell phone, and I was afraid that if I used this laptop, it's just a piece of dog shit. It's really old, and I borrowed it from a family member just to be able. I was like, I need a laptop. Yeah. Um, cool, awesome. At least you can hear me and see me. Yeah. So what I was saying basically is like, we are all we're all trying to become love, right? Like at the end of the day, we're all trying to become love, and that beats a blank, like shooting a blank. Sorry, I'm a child. I apologize. I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, we are water too, and that's what I mean. Like, I still have this fucking thing in my way. You're old. You're old. You're only as old as you feel, right? Years are just revolutions around the sun, allegedly. I happen to believe that the sun revolves around us. Just to keep it real, I'm thinking it's more like that. I think it's more the sun revolves around us. And Grand Supreme, what? Um, you missed most of the show. Please keep it up for a day. I'll probably keep. Yeah, you already know how I am. If it's not like one of my, I'm OCD. So when I do announcements or like just shows in general like this, I never keep because I don't want it to be part of my body of work. I'm really weird. I want only the best shows to stay up on the channel. I've done thousands and thousands of videos, and you got to think. Like I've been doing this for so long. I had videos I had to take down that had 350,000 views. That's a kick in the fucking nuts, by the way. You have a video with 350,000 views and you have to take it down. You know what I mean? Because the rules change. It's a big kick in the nuts. Yeah. Yeah, you're only as old as you feel. You're only as old as you act. You're only as old as you allow yourself to be. And like, I was actually talking to somebody a few days ago about, and I'm not going to get like all deep into details or whatever, but the person was saying basically like, we were talking about perception, right? And I'm like, yo, I'm whatever you see me as, right? Like in your mind, like, and this is the same thing with sin. You know what I mean? Like what we do right and wrong. Of course, there are things that are wrong that we know would violate the rule of love, right? To harm somebody, to take their life. It's not ours to take, right? Which is more of a thing of honoring free will than love, to keep it real. Right? If it's not your life, that's not an act of love. That's just an act of, it's free will. You can't violate another being's free will. But if you have this projection in your mind, essentially that something is wrong, something is bad, well, it becomes wrong and it becomes bad because that's what's in your head. You made it bad, whether it was bad or not, right? Or and I'm like, are you following the rule of love? The rule of love is everything, right? If we're on a journey to try to become love because we're trying to return into union with the Creator, which is love, right? So as long as we're in that, and I've seen it like in marriage too, right? Marriage too, same thing. Is marriage a piece of paper or is marriage a union between hearts? You got to ask yourself these questions, and I don't think people do. I don't think people are willing to look deep enough, seek deep enough within themselves to find the answers. And whatever answer they probably won't accept because it's not what they want it to be. It's not what they want it to be. What if the woman you're feeling is older than you? That's okay, I guess, right? Like I don't. It doesn't matter to me if they're older or younger. It just depends how I feel about them. You know what I mean? I've seen women that are older look good. You know what I mean? They take care of themselves, right? They got a lot of soul left. And then I've seen young people look like dog shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't take care of themselves. They don't have a lot of soul left. I think that's what ages us. How much life is in us. You look young when you have a lot of life, right? When you've lived a hard life, it shows physically sometimes. Some people have more energy, more soul than others, right? You got to think our body's just a fucking container, a vessel for the energy. Or is marriage someone wants for a fake reality? Yes, of course they do. Of course they do. They want it for fake reality because they want to feel like they want to belong. We'll go all the way back to the beginning now. I love it when that happens. They want a sense of belonging. That's what people need, a sense of acceptance. They're like, well, society structured it that way, so I have to do it too because I'm a mindless slave, right? And you don't love me if you don't sign this satanic Saturn worshiping contract that says you do. You know that's where wedding rings come from. They represent the ring of Saturn. You know what I mean? You're literally have a sun worshiping priest putting the Saturn rings on your finger and you're acting like it's a holy matrimony with you and God. You're a fucking idiot is what you are. You know, idiot. And it's not your fault though. You know, we've all bought into the beliefs of this world and the lies of this world. We've all done it. Every last one of us, and we can't say that we haven't. But I think it's funny that people are so it's hypocritical is what it is. And I think it's supposed to be a hypocrisy. That's what the whole trick about religion actually is. It's meant to be a hypocritical deal because they want you going around pretending and pious and then using it to judge people when in reality you're more of a heathen than a person that has never stepped a foot in the church. You know what I mean? Like it's a big fucking laugh to them. Those who are in control. It's a big fucking laugh to them. They're like, look at that. You said he's going to hell because he read a tarot card. You're fucking worshiping Lucifer, you fool. You know what I mean? That's the pot calling the kettle black, as my granny used to say. We belong to the light. Of course we do. Of course we do. We're transmuting right now our darkness into light, which is, once again, goes back to my theory of the earth being the third eye of our collective consciousness. It's a physical expression of the collective consciousness, the pineal of the collective consciousness. And if you think about it, if we're crossing, planet of the crossing, transitional planet, if we're transitioning to a higher dimension, a higher level, if we're crossing over to a higher dimension, a higher level, well, that means we no longer exist here on this plane. So, you know how Christ says that the light is leaving the world and shit? Ain't that cool? It's us. We're leaving the world. Right? There'll come a time when the Holy Spirit isn't here anymore. It's because we're not here anymore. Isn't that wild? Like when you think about it, how many people have cracked these mysteries? I want to know. How many churches have cracked these mysteries? You ever seen a church crack any of these mysteries? You know? Very negative. I'm just keeping it real. Just keeping it real, and that's the truth. You know? Yeah, dude, and that's when, and the truth stands on its own. The truth is self-evident, and awesome, brother. That's awesome. I'm glad, man. It stands on its own. It's self-evident, and we will watch every other facet of reality express that truth too. You feel me? Like that's how we can see it play out in the physical. That's how we see it, you know, and I point this out all the time. You can take something as simple as the anatomy of your body and then compare it with like the chemicals of your body, compare it with the stars of the sky, compare it with the earth and the topography and geography of the earth. Yeah, man, it's just wild. Do I believe in God? Of course I believe in God. Of course I believe in God. And I believe Jesus is the Messiah too, if that's your next question. Did I just read your mind? Did I just read your mind? I believe in God, of course, and I believe Jesus is the Messiah. And I was talking about it earlier, that I believe Jesus was the expression of God. He was God incarnate. He was the first one to transition into that spot, man. It was, and that's what's redeemed us and saved us. The experience is there for us to have, man. I got ESPN. That's so funny. Yeah, I know. You know, and you know what? It doesn't matter. This is the way I feel. I feel like it doesn't matter what you use. Um, okay, people that believe that if you don't pour Jesus's blood on you, which is a satanic ritual, just saying, if you don't pour Jesus's blood on you, you're going to hell. What is people believe that all the Buddhists are going to do, the Hindus, you know what I mean? Are they just all heathens that are going to burn in the lake of fire because they're not part of the Western world and into the newest religion on earth? Except for Scientology. It's pretty new, but it's really just the occult dressed up. Same shit dressed up like all the others. You know what I mean? Do they think that? And you know what? Here's the thing, too. God will reflect you. Your God that you serve is a reflection of yourself. Okay? So you'll notice that people that say God, Israel is a certain color, it's a race. That's a racist person. So their God reflects their racism, right? God's white. No, you're just a fucking racist, right? God doesn't just stick to one. This is like a shirt or skin color is, right? The real person is underneath the skin. That's why I've never, and this is my personal choice. You're welcome to your personal choice, but I like every color of the rainbow when it comes to people. Like I don't see the color like I see the person, and I think each color has beauty to it, just like each person has beauty to it. You know what I mean? Like each culture has beauty to it. And for us to think that God doesn't see it like that too is really ignorant. Just really ignorant. Your brain hasn't developed yet. Your spirit hasn't for sure. Your consciousness hasn't. That's a very consciously immature person. Do I know Donald Marshall? I do not know Donald Marshall. I don't really watch too much YouTube, brother. I used to, but here's the thing. Back in the day when I used to watch it a lot, I was still learning a lot. Now, it's so much bullshit and trash that I'm afraid it'll contaminate me. Just to keep it real, I want to talk to you, and I want to have my own ideas. Matter of fact, a lot of other YouTubers watch my shit, and then I hear them go repeat it and stuff and claim it as their own, because they won't acknowledge me because they're afraid it'll hurt their brand and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because I don't filter my mouth, But I know a lot of them that do it. Matter of fact, lots of them. But in this niche, anyways, this genre, a few of your favorites probably. Some of them, I used to do it too, though. I used to, like, that's what I didn't like about it. There was this unoriginality in that, right? And I only know that it works like that because I am one, right? Like, so back in the day, I would see my fellow YouTubers talking about something. I'm like, okay, well, that, like, that's what everybody's interested in. And we'd all be coming out with basically the same video about similar shit. You know what I mean? It's like follow the leader, a recycled idea. There was nothing authentic in that to me. So as people got more and more watered down, I didn't want to regurgitate their nonsense anymore. And plus, you grow too, and you learn to trust your own self and your own ideas. And and I really felt like I come into that. I remember like Derek Bros, Global Witness, saying like, John, you really come into your own. And it was like such a big booster. Because that's one of the people that like helped me start to get confirmation from an outside source that I trusted, because it was my own ideas. Like I had started doing my own thing. I was like, fuck it. I'm not trying to please people no more. I'm going to play the music I want. I'm going to talk how I talk. I'm going to look how I look. And if they don't like it, they can fuck off. Because I could never win. I could never win. I always wanted to try to please everyone, and I pleased nobody that way. You know what I mean? And we do this in life too. Like I was trying to placate the Christians on this hand, the Gnostics on this side, the Luciferians over here, and no matter what I said, one group would hate me. One group would be like, "You're wrong. You're stupid. You suck. You're going to hell." And I was trying to do that and said, you know what? If I'm going to go down in flames, I'm going to go down in flames as me. If I'm going to crash this ship, then I'm going to crash it with me driving, the real, authentic me. And it wasn't till I did that or learned who I was, basically, and was comfortable enough to be that in front of everybody, that I had any real success at all. Like I didn't really I had little bits, but nothing like what happened after I did that. And it was confirmation, like, holy shit, man. And you start taking that and it doesn't just stick on a YouTube screen. You carry that through your fucking life. You're like, dude, I don't care. I don't care if you're going to stare at me. I'm different. So what? I don't want to be like you. You shouldn't want to be like me. You shouldn't want to be like anyone else either. Like what's wrong with you? Are you afraid to stand out? Are you afraid to be great? Are you afraid to love? Are you afraid to shine? Are you afraid to realize your potential? And that's where I think it actually, we're beat down so much in our society, and we're treated like slaves. We're treated like we're ignorant and stupid, and we're parasites, and we have this ugly self-image of ourselves, right? Because the world tries to give us that. So we're ashamed of who we really are instead of embracing who we really are. And to me, there's something like incredibly fucking attractive to a person that knows who they are, right? There's like confidence in that. And I don't know how to explain it. And I don't even mean attractive in a sexual way. I mean, like there's an attractive nature when a person knows, they're confident in themselves and they know who they are. You're like, damn, man, I want to feel like that in my skin, And that's the process of learning to know yourself. You too seriously saw it yourself? Hey, man, that's what it is, right? We've all been through this, We've all been through this. Yes, it's beautiful. Hell yeah, it is. It is beautiful. Soul shine, yeah. It is beautiful. Yeah, and you know what? And that's the thing too. A lot of us have done this process together, which is really cool and really unique, I think. The fact that some of us have been doing this for years together. We've been all in all these groups together, online together, all across the world too, doing this. And like we've got to watch each other grow. We've got to watch each other grow. Wide awake and angry. You was wide awake or wide awake? I can't see because of this logo. It's getting on my nerves. But yeah, we've got to watch each other grow. We've got to watch each other evolve. right? And go from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And it's like really encouraging to see that. You know, when you watched, I've seen people that were not very articulate, that were not very polished, you would say, or whatever, right? Didn't have a lot of like, they weren't very learned or learned. How would you say that, right? Like, they wasn't super Bible fucking, steroided out and shit on the Bible or anything. But I watched them go through the process and become just like these super fucking magnetic beings. And you're like, wow, like that's what it looks like, And you wonder, like, is that what happened to me? Because you don't notice the changes yourself, right? You're you. You see yourself every day, right? It's like if you gain weight or lose weight. Someone doesn't see you for 6 months and you lost 10 pounds, they'd be like, hey, you lose weight, you look good, right? Like shit like that, right? Same thing with the spirit, You can notice it in another person, but in yourself, it isn't till you look like over long gaps of time. I have to go back years and be like, damn, I seen like, I swear, that's what I was done with YouTube. Swear to you, so done. I quit. I stopped making videos for like 2 months. And I'm like, I'm just done. I'm just never coming back. I'm not doing it no more. And I seen a video of myself on BitChute that someone else posted. And that's what made me come back, honestly. Because like the guy I seen wasn't the same guy, and it upset me. You know what I mean? It upset me. It was like, damn, like that guy's all full of light and love, and like I'm all dark and depressed and shit. Like, what the fuck has happened here? How'd I go from that to this? Like, and you could see over like a long period of time, you could see, or when people like sell out, go watch their videos from 5 years ago and then watch them today. They look like a Hollywood production today. They look like they're a fucking famous actor today, but 5 years ago they were ratchet as fuck. You know what I mean? And their shit was probably 10 times better because they were real. They were real. They wasn't all Hollywood trying to be politically correct. It wasn't all about the bottom line and how much money they needed to make. Like we see this in musicians, right? Your favorite artist. Usually the first or two albums of somebody is their best shit. Maybe their third. And then after they made like 10 albums, it's like, same song recycled about 30 fucking times. You're laughing at Ratchet? Well, you guys don't use Ratchet in your everyday language? Best journey ever. I know it really is. Very rewarding. And I think that's why we act out in society, is because we don't have purpose. And I think that this journey gives you purpose. Straight up. We're missing that ingredient in our lives. We're missing love and we're missing purpose. We're missing love and we're missing purpose. And sad truth is most people, they're okay with that. They're okay with having neither. They're okay with mediocrity, though. Right? They're okay with mediocrity. They want to count the things, the belongings they have. But they themselves, right? Like, they don't want to increase them. They just want to increase the shit around them. It's like a peacock or something, right? Big feathers all fluffed out to cover up the fact that they're small. I don't need a fucking Ferrari and a giant castle to cover up the fact that I'm small. I am the fucking Ferrari and the castle. That's
That's how I think we all ourselves. I am. That shit came out of me. I made that happen. I'm wealth. I'm prosperity. I'm abundance. I'm honor. I'm glory. I'm love. Right? And if you're not on that wavelength, then I'm not on it. And neither are you. I'm not allowing another person to bring me down or bring me into their hell. You can't do that anymore. And I don't suggest other people do either. If somebody's not trying to elevate you, don't fuck with them. They're not trying to elevate you, don't fuck with them. It is a truth. Fuck yeah. Yeah, fuck drama. Yeah, I know. Some people thrive off of drama, though. Straight up, man. When I was like a teenager and shit, I think I used to do it. Like, you ever see like couples or something, they'll argue just to make up? Like, I feel like people never break those kind of patterns, and that's what they become, is those kind of motherfuckers. Like, they thrive off of drama. They need the chaos in their life to make them feel like they're in control when they put it back in order. Right? They can't just let go and let it do and let it be what it is. They have to have some type of control. Why? Because they feel powerless on the inside. So they need to feel like they have power over something. Usually it's something in their lives. Right? If I'm powerless, I need to have this sense of power. So I'm going to create chaos so I can have control over how I reorganize that chaos. Then I'm powerful. Right? Because not only did I create the chaos, I rearranged everything and I decided how it's going to look now. But in truth, I'm just a weak, powerless being that needs to create chaos to feel powerful, right? Being powerful is like being in love, right? Love is vulnerable, so being powerful is letting go. We're taught the upside down version of everything, right? True power doesn't need to flex. It knows it's powerful, right? Doesn't have to control nothing else. Not at all, right? Just itself. It doesn't inflict its will on anyone or anything else, right? It only does what it has to do when it's necessary to do it. When it serves the higher good, the higher purpose, when it helps someone, when it elevates someone. And that's why I'd be like, yo, these motherfuckers thinking all these aliens are coming down to help them and shit. Makes no sense. A true, higher, powerful entity doesn't seek to engage in the affairs of low shit. Right? Do you think a true, higher, powerful angel would come down and give a fuck who the president was? Makes no sense. They understand the real plan. They're not going to tell you to trust Donald Trump's plan. Right? They don't have to fight against shit. They're a powerful being. They know the big picture. Every reaction is a reaction. So when you create resistance, you create an opposing force, right? So you strengthen the enemy by resisting the enemy, if that makes sense, right? So by you trying to fight against it, you only make it stronger. You only make it bigger. That's why when someone strikes your cheek, you offer them the other one. Right? You don't feed into it. You only make it worse. You only make it bigger. Think about a conflict in your life. Someone says something nasty to you, and this literally just happened to me. Somebody said something, and I said something back. That, you know what I mean? Like, you'll say something back, and it just makes the energy bigger, worse, darker than what it was, dumber than what it was, whatever it was. You know, you're feeding into it. And we all do this shit. Every last one of us. We all do this shit. You know, and like we fail to see the instructions that we on how to, not do it. Because we take everything literal and physical because we're weak in spirit. It's only when you become truly spiritual that you see everything as spiritual. When you're still in the physical, it's all physical. It's all physical. All of what I speak about was part of your spiritual awakening. All of it. Yeah, it was all part of mine too, man. Straight up. I mean, we've all been through very similar processes. For real, for real. I'm still going through it. In life right now, I still go through it every day. Not a day goes by I don't grow some, change some, learn some, And it's like as soon as I think I've learned all I need to know, that's when I get bitch slapped across the face. Like, what, you think you know something now? You don't know shit. Still. And I just come to the realization that I never will. I never will. Not here, I won't. Right? Not here. And I think one of the best things, even though it's a World Wide Web to trap our consciousness, we flipped it and inverted it for good, man. Because can you imagine doing this? Like, it's already a very lonely, solitary walk and journey, right? You're going uphill against the grain. 99% of the world is doing it the other way. And we choose to be the motherfuckers who want to do it, the right way or this way. And that is isolating, right? It's lonely. Whether you're married or not, you know what I mean? It's still lonely, right? Still. Doesn't matter if you're surrounded by people. I feel alone in a stadium full of people. You know what I mean? Because we think so different than them and we feel so differently than them, we can't connect to the soul like we need to, because they're not in touch with their own soul. And imagine doing this without even the luxury of what we're doing right now. Right? Just talking about it and saying, yes, I feel that. Yes, that's me. Right? Yes. Because when you tell your hubby or wifey that, they say, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want to talk about that crazy shit. Why you always gotta be doom and gloom? Which one are you? Pick one. You probably heard all of them. Your parents, your friends, your coworkers. Right? You know what I'm saying is true. Like, we try to share. We're so excited about the truth. We're so excited about the light. We're so excited about love that we try to fucking share it with people. We're like, look at what I found. My precious, right? We got it. And they're blind to, like, seems kind of boring to me. I'd rather eat Cheetos and watch television. What? But we got very fortunate in being able to do what we do via online. Very fortunate. Because it would probably be a fuck ton, a lot harder, and we'd probably grow way slower that way too. So I guess I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm really tired. I probably should have forever ago, but I was going to. So everybody that's watching this video, if you can, please hit the thumbs up for me. Please share this link for me, and please leave a comment after it's over, and subscribe or follow if you have not. Also, I am raise funds to get a new PC. My computer done, and it's not hacked. It was hardware, so it's hardware. It's not fixable, and yeah, I don't have a computer now, and this is my job. This is my livelihood. This is my business. This is everything, and I don't have thousands of dollars laying around. So I need help raising money. That way I can take care of myself. That way I can get my babies Christmas. Just shit like that, dudes. Very simple. I put a fundraiser on Facebook, and I put on my personal page, but I think I shared it in the groups and stuff too. And there's a fundraiser on PayPal also, but both those links are in the description. But you don't have to do the fundraisers if you don't want to. You can just go the old-fashioned way and donate and support PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, Cash App, or Facebook Messenger Pay. Yeah, so I'm trying to at least get $1,500, $2,000 so I can get something at least that will be able to actually take all the stuff I run with. Because I can't do it on my phone forever. You can't do these every day. This is not even close to the content I make. And you can see, like, there's not a lot of people even watching. So, yeah. If you guys would, I would really appreciate it. And to the couple of people that already have, helped and donated and supported to like get it started. Thank you. Like, that's really kind of you, really nice of you. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that, because not a lot of people are good these days. Not a lot of people are good these days, guys. Seriously. People are shitty. Even the ones who act good, most of the time, are shitty too. They're just good actors. So thank you to the ones who look out for me and help take care of me and just are kind to me and good to me. And I appreciate you guys that text me and all that too, and you're welcome to. I mean, a lot of you guys, you email me and chat. You're welcome to text me and stuff. The worst thing I could do is not reply or take a long time to reply. But I appreciate everybody, so I try to at least respond to everybody. And I think we have to stick together. I think like it's all wrapping up, man. Like, whatever it is, it's obviously wrapping up. Like, look at our country, look at our world. It doesn't take a genius to see that. Who are you going to have when it all has wrapped up? So we need people like us. I don't know if people always understand the gravity of what everything is that's taking place and what it all actually means and what it will mean. And I mean, you don't have to take my word for it, but if you think I've been right before and I'm right about a few things, then I'm probably right about this too. So I'm just saying, consider it at least. You don't have to blindly follow anything I say, but at least consider it, right? Use that critical thinking, and spiritual discernment. Because I swear to you on this, and I promise you this, I don't lie to you. I tell you what I truly believe, what I truly know, and what I truly feel, you know? Like I tell it exactly how I see it, exactly how I believe it is. I don't hold back from you, which has been a problem in life, you know, because I've gotten in a lot of trouble on these platforms for not holding back. And because I don't hold back, a lot of people believe that's why I don't get as much support. It's because people feel like they don't have to because I'll give it all away for free. So, but it's because I don't want to be a piece of shit to nobody and know something that could maybe change everything for you and not say it. Because I wanted to be greedy or something. You know, I don't feel like that'd bode too well for me. You know what I mean? I just wouldn't feel good about myself if I'd done those kind of things. Some people are okay with it. Some people think a YouTube channel is more important than your life. And those are the people that you guys look up to. Blows me away. Blows me away. I think a YouTube channel is more important than your life. And you idolize them. Nuts. Nuts. You know what I mean? So, you know, y'all need to slow it down sometimes and realize, like, not everybody on here is your friend and has your best interests at heart. Most of them don't. And usually the ones that pretend to be the fucking happiest and the most spiritual are just liars, man. They're just good actors. They're good actors. Think about your life. You know, is every day a bowl of sunshine for you? Nope. So these people pretending like theirs is are full of dog shit. They're liars. They're not genuine. They're not real. You know, letting fake shit be what wins the day too. Because the more we feed into it and the more we, say, oh yeah, when we buy into it, the more of it gets pushed at us and the more real shit falls to the wayside. You know? We don't need fucking flashy graphics. We're goddamn adults. You know what I mean? Like, are we fucking children? We need bright fluorescent colors so we can learn? No. No. And it proves. This right here proves who's who, just like everything else does too. It proves who's who's here to learn, who's here to be entertained. If you're here for entertainment, there's plenty of that on YouTube, right? Plenty of it. There's nothing wrong with being entertained while you learn. But if all you are here for is to be wowed by the next intelligent thing that comes out of my fucking mouth or stupid thing that comes out of my mouth, you're at the wrong place, man. You're at the wrong place. You should be here for you. You alone. You alone. And if you're not, it's going to show. Your actions will show it. Because when we're doing it for ourselves, everything reflects it. Even when you do something for another person, you're doing it because you know you're sowing into you, right? That's why people don't give to others, because they're not doing it for them. You know? Like they think like people can't tell that stuff. It's obvious. There's not a lot of people that are real deal about this shit. Not a lot. Most of them are in this chat right now that are. For real. Some of them are not in here. They're probably sleeping. That's what I mean. Like, there's not a lot. Not a lot. Once in a while, though, we need to be, we just need to be reminded. Like, it's easy to start going down the wrong direction in consciousness and in awareness and spiritually. It's so fucking easy, right? So easy. We get lazy, we get comfortable, we get in routines, and then what happens? We get stagnant and we become mediocre. We have to maintain idea, right? And I tell you, I defend my ideas with everything. We have to maintain the idea that we are seeking greatness and that we are greatness. If we don't, we'll lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it. If we don't, we'll lose it. We have to maintain that actively. Like a fucking relationship or something, right? You got to put time and trust and effort, respect into that shit, right? If you want a good one. Same thing. This is a relationship with yourself, though. If you don't nurture it, it's going to go sideways. And you're probably going to get dumped or cheated on by yourself, to yourself, right? And when we cheat on ourselves, we cheat ourselves, right? We cheat ourselves. And we do things that take away from ourselves instead of give to ourselves. We do things that devalue ourselves instead of add value to ourselves. And we're better than that. And we're capable of anything we want. Anything we want. We have all the honor, the glory, the abundance, the joy that we want. We just have to claim it, and we just have to be it, to take it. Be love, and everything becomes love. Seek love. That should be the ultimate goal. All right, guys. Thank you so much, man. Thumbs up, comment, share. And like I said, I really, really hope everybody will help me with this. I do need a new computer in the worst way. I'm probably not going to be doing very many videos till I can. So thank you. I love you guys. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. And I do appreciate all you guys for watching. And to those of you who helped so far, I love y'all. I appreciate it so much. You guys are awesome. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Peace.